Am I live? Hey, what's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It is I, Noname, the Hub, back at it again with another kind of Giants Q&A, NFL Q&A live stream type of deal. And not only Q&A, we talk whatever you want. Doesn't necessarily have to be confined to the NFL. Finally got basketball back, got baseball back, whatever sports you guys want to chat with later on in the stream, whenever the Mets game is going to be over. And because the Mets game is actually like going pretty good right now, they do not usually score around 10 runs or so. That's something that usually does not happen with the Mets. But because that's going on right now, later on, I'm going to have the Entertainah in the chat, bro. Not in the chat, but on stream, he's going to come on a little bit later. Uh, Whenever that game is over. For those of you, I know some of you might be in that stream currently right now. Whenever that's good and that's over, he's gonna pull up here, spend a couple of time, maybe like in half an hour and so, because I'm only gonna go for like around an hour tonight. Start a bit late, but we are here, man. What's up, Dylan Renner? What's up, Edward Chan? Thank you guys for being in here. Thank you guys for pulling up to the stream and whatnot. So yeah, I see Dylan Renner says Thunder all the way, referring to NBA restarting in the bubble and whatnot. How is the Thunder doing, by the way, Dylan? What is up? Zeta Toast. He just says re. I can't, yo. I used to be able to do a good re-voice, man. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Used to be able to do a good re-voice. Just quickly posting this, in the community notes and whatnot. And before we actually get into it, before we talk NBA, if that's what you guys want to talk about, before we talk NFL, before we talk Giants, we could talk a little bit of baseball. I will admit though, not that versed in baseball. Before we do all that, first and foremost, let me know if the mic is okay, because this mic seems to be coming back to its former strength. I've been using this a couple more in the past couple of days. It went off for like a week or so. If it's not all right, then I'll switch over to my recording mic. And second of all, and thank you, by the way, Zeta Toast. My day was fine. How was yours? I finally got some time, to spend with a couple of my friends and whatnot. Haven't done that in a while, so that was nice and fun. What's up, Bradley? Dylan says, we have surprised the NBA this year. The experts had us not making the playoffs, and now we are fourth in the West. Thunder are doing that good. Let me pull up since Thunder is the current topic right now, and once again, for anybody tuning in, we can talk whatever you want. Let me pull up OKC Thunder, because what is the Thunder roster like? I mean, my team, the Knicks, we're not even in. You know what I'm saying? We're not even in it. So the Thunder, they're currently fifth in the West with 40-24 record. How many games are left? Because I know they're only playing 8 games in the bubble. Thank you for that, Bradley. He says the GOAT. Man, Zeta says mine was good. I was home alone, so I didn't have to wait for people wanting to. Yo, that right there is great. When you don't have to wait on other people to use the bathroom, man, it's such a small thing, but that's amazing. Yo, I feel you, bro. That's great. And shout out to Bradley for that, my guy. But Thunder are currently there's still 8 left. Okay, then Dylan. I bet. Where do you have the Thunder going then, man? Do you have them making it completely through the playoffs and getting all the way there? I'm surprised that the Rockets are 6th in the West. Kind of surprised at how well the Jazz are doing, because they had a down year last year, I think. And by the way, I had to do this. I gotta plug it, guys. I gotta plug it. I had 2 big announcements today, in case you guys did not see. There's now official channel merch available. If I can share screen, because there's a share screen option here. Okay. I'm gonna, hopefully this works. Bet. There's now channel merch available, guys. I have a Teespring store up. You can go out there and get channel merch. And it's not just my logo slapped on anything. There's actually designs I worked on. For those of you that might be old wrestling fans, man, you can see it right here, the NWO inspired logo and design. There's multiple colors available. Try to make the pricing as fair as possible. It's, pretty cheap compared to what other people have. The only thing I really just slapped my logo on was the mug. This is the H block design. It's kind of a favorite. I already got a couple of orders of this one coming through. This is in also multiple colors and whatnot. Get it with the shirt, the hoodie, the mug, the long sleeve. There's a bag. Whatever you feeling, man. We got the Your hoodie. This is another good one right here. The back is just a small hub logo, and I mean the front is small hub logo. The back is just the big Your, different colors. And I want to stress, there's multiple color options for all of these. You know what I'm saying? So if you think, man, it doesn't look that good in blue or something, there's usually another option. This is just the regular, the Your merchandise. You know what I'm saying? Of course, that's what I always say whenever I begin anything. And then the final design was the future design. This is another one of my favorites because it has the future of the Giants, in my opinion, on the front there with Darius Slayton, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, and on the back it has their nicknames, man. And of course, once again, multiple colors. I think the navy looks pretty fire with this one. But yeah, I just had to plug that real quick. You know what I'm saying? Finally got it up there. Spent a lot of time on it. It was not just my logo slapped onto something. So I want to introduce that to you guys because I didn't want to just give that and call it merch. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to the chat. I had to share that, and also memberships are now a thing. You guys should see the join button. I got 3 tiers. You could be a team player, team coach, or team manager. And all the tiers, all their perks are listed out. I did a video describing the perks. I'm sorry, it's kind of slipping my mind right now. I'm a bit tired, but there's 3 tiers, and there's a lot of perks for all of them. Like I think team coach, there's exclusive member videos, and team manager, you help me decide what videos I make. So it's pretty good. Thank you for the compliment, guys, by both Dylan Renner and Zetatos. I did spend a lot of time on them. What's up to Nikki in the chat? Thank you for that also. And Massachusetts loves the hub. I love Massachusetts, man. Yeah, you want the hoodie, but I got $5 in my wallet. Hey, I will be doing a giveaway with a couple of these, so maybe you're gonna win it. You know what I'm saying? We'll be doing a giveaway to you guys. Maybe you win it, Zetatos. Who knows, man? But with that out the way, maybe like once again, because I still have to do the giveaway of the hat. So I'm gonna do one big live stream where it's like the hat and then maybe a couple of the merch items. Maybe it's gonna be a hoodie, maybe it's a shirt, or maybe I'll just be like, with a winner, which one do you want? You know what I'm saying? We'll see what it is. $5.17, man. That should be enough to cover shipping. I think. Become a member and you get discount on it. For the highest tier. But yeah, let's get back to sports, man. Dylan says he wish he was legal enough to buy merch one more year, my boy. His parents would say no, sadly. Hey man, listen, Dylan. Whatever, I'm not gonna tell you to go against the parents now. But hey, you convince them, man. These are some clean designs. You see the designs. It's not just the logo. It's actual. I actually had my friend Farhan. Some of you guys know him because Farhan helps me out with making like the intros and outros of the channel and sometimes various graphics that I have up. If you know him from that, you guys obviously know he's pretty well versed in graphic design. I had him help me with a couple of those. So and thank you, Dylan. You know what I'm saying? I do appreciate that, my guy. But let's get back to a little bit of sports. Bradley, this was a comment from earlier, since we were talking a little bit of NBA earlier. He says Clippers are making the finals, in my opinion. I'll tell you what, I caught the Lakers-Clippers game last night. I was watching it. I caught like the fourth quarter or something. LA was definitely struggling. They're definitely missing the key players that they're out, my guy. They're 100% missing those key players. I think they're Lou Williams and whatnot. They were missing them, man. Because and I know you guys could say, Braun had an off game. They're rusty. They're coming off of basically months of not playing and whatnot. The team still looked, well, they didn't look as good as they did before quarantine. You know what I'm saying? They didn't look as good as they did before the NBA went off, before they restarted and whatnot. The only reason the Clippers lost that game, in my opinion, is because they probably leaned too much on PG and Kawhi. And that game-winning shot by Braun, I will say this. LeBron didn't show up for the entirety of the game. But those last basically 3 minutes, I think, when he hit the game winner and then he clamped up PG and Kawhi for that matter, he showed up there, and that's, give him all the credit in the world. I'm a big LeBron fan, but if it wasn't for that, Clippers are 100% winning that game, man. They as a team played better, in my opinion. So I am a bit worried in that case. Then again, another part of me is like, hey, man, they just restarted the NBA season, so maybe everybody's just rusty, but it's definitely going to be between the two LA teams, in my opinion, that make the finals. But hey, maybe a surprise like OKC, maybe they come out of nowhere and do something, man. Zetato says, if I buy a membership, I'll starve to death. Need that McDonald's food. Hey, man, listen. Another thing I gotta stress is you guys, you don't have to get the membership. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to get the membership. You don't have to get. Let me just share it again. You don't have to get the merch, even though the merch is absolutely clean, bro. You don't have to get it. It's all optional. And if you don't, it's not like you guys are all really great supporters of mine. It's not like you're going to be any less of a supporter. It's all extremely optional. You don't need to do it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Engraven Vids in the chat. Engraven Vids, you know what I'm saying? He is a great NFL and Ravens YouTuber. Make sure you guys go over to his channel and sub him up. The dude is extremely entertaining. I'm over there a couple times as well. Now his live streams are a lot bigger, so he doesn't really get to see me that much, but he does a lot of good videos, man. Engraven Vids, go check him out. Dylan Renner says, but that's facts. I have let's see what's happening. But I have to spend the money on the money. I bet to be Kid Blue when I played him in Madden. I lost the game. He was up 21-0, and I came back 21-21. Then I went downhill. Ah, man. I didn't even know you played Kid Blue in Madden, bro. Kid Blue, listen. And what's his name? King Justin saying, good to see I recuperated from the Kid Blue loss. I'm not going to say that. Listen, that Kid Blue Madden game went completely left, man. Went completely left field. I'll be the first to admit it. But I had to recuperate. And yup, Engraven, I do got the merch, man. You know what I'm saying? Spend a little time designing it. Hey, man, listen, man. You know what I'm saying? Pick up a little something for yourself, Engraven. You know what I'm saying? It's some clean merch out there, bro. You know how you keep giving me the confidence about OKC? What's up, Dylan? That sounds like a sentence that you'll continue. And by the way, guys, for anybody just tuning in, Q&A, as the title says. I know the title only says Giants NFL, but we could talk anything you want. We could talk NBA. We can talk MLB, although I'll tell you right now, I'm not that versed in MLB. We can talk any team in the NFL, you know, like Engraven's in here. We could talk about the Ravens if you want. Actually, Engraven, if you're still in the chat, bro, let's talk about this. The NFL top 100 list. I feel like we need to address this. How do you guys feel about Lamar Jackson making number one? And I know there's a big debate going on right now about him being above both Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes. And, you know, basically, like the guys he was over with, he was above everybody else. He was above Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Donald. How do you guys feel about that in the NFL 100? And Engraven, if you're still in the chat, my guy, what was your thoughts on that? I know he made a video on it. I unfortunately did not get to check it out yet, but if you can put the thoughts real quick in the chat, I'll definitely get to it. Now, my thoughts on it, personally, my thoughts on it is that Lamar was the MVP 100%. He earned the MVP 100%. In fact, I'm one of the only people in the NFL fandom to be to really say that I think he is a top 5 quarterback. There's not that many people in the NFL that would say Lamar Jackson is a top 5 quarterback. I am one of those guys. I don't think he's number one in the top 100. I think he's definitely top 5, but I'm putting Mahomes and Donald specifically above him. I might put him above Wilson. You know, I might have Lamar at number 3, if I'm being honest with you guys. Lamar Jackson, I might have him at number 3 behind Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Donald. I just think that Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Donald are better players than Lamar Jackson at this point in their careers. Lamar could definitely, you know, go ahead of them and be better than them. But I think that he's behind them as of right now, and I would still have him in the number 3. And that's not even disrespectful. That's just where I think he is right now. Zetato says he spent almost all his money on the Saquon jersey. Came in the mail yesterday. Yo, I'm gonna get myself a Saquon jersey before the season starts, or maybe even during the season. I'm gonna get myself a Saquon jersey. I can't believe I don't have one yet. In fact, I only got 2 Giants jerseys. I got this old red Jeremy Shockey jersey and a Reebok Eli Manning jersey. The Saquon one is going to be the next one I got to get. Then maybe next year I'll save up and get a Daniel Jones one. You guys know how it is. Engraven says, top 100, Lamar deserved. He had better seasons than Wilson and Mahomes. He had better seasons than Wilson and Mahomes. But are we talking about the season they just had? Or are we ranking them as players? Because is that not what the top 100 is? He says the top 100 is strictly about the regular season from the previous year. Lamar got that. If that's how you view it, then yes, he had the best. He was the MVP. He had the best season out of anybody. But if we're talking top 100 players, then I would put Mahomes and Donald over him. But if that's the specific criteria, if you're talking about criteria like season he had, then I mean it's in the name MVP. But then you can make the same argument, Engraven, for the previous year where Mahomes was the MVP and he was ranked number 4. By that argument, we would say, why wasn't Mahomes ranked number 1 last year? And I think that's something that people are bringing up. I'm not sure though. Dylan says, I know that whole spiel about the memberships is BS. You definitely want us to get the membership, LOL, but I get it. It's something you have to say. Actually, Dylan, no. I don't want you guys to get the membership. I only want you to do it if you can. I'm kidding. No, it's completely optional, bro. I'm not saying it just because that. I'm saying it because I understand, my guy. It's coronavirus right now. A lot of people don't have jobs. And even then, I'm not about to force you to get my membership. You know what I'm saying? Money is tight. I understand that. Edward Chan said no, Mahomes is better than Lamar. Yeah, Mahomes is better than Lamar right now. I'd agree with that right now. The only reason I'm saying right now is because I feel like people fail to remember that the NFL is a complete parody of itself. What happens one year is not going to happen the next year. For all we know, Lamar Jackson next year could become the best player in the NFL. With that being said, there's an equal amount of chance that he like completely falls off and gets injured or something because the NFL is a parody. That's why I keep saying he's not better than him yet, and it's still why I'll have. It's still why I would have Donald and Mahomes above him. Zetato says sucks. Then now I can't get Lamar in my fantasy drafts for Madden 21. I always get to pick 30. Really, man, always 30. That really sucks, man. And then Engraven says, is Lamar better than Mahomes or Wilson? No, at least not yet. I agree with him here. He's not better than yet. Like I just said, it could be next year, could be the year after. There's also equal chance that it could be never. Who knows? And he says, forget last year. You see now, this is in response to me saying, if we're gonna go off, it's based off of the year they just had. Then Mahomes should have had the number one player in the NFL for when they did the list last year. Now you can't just forget last year, man. That's what he added in the laughing emojis. Let's see. The Clippers have better depth and better overall team, in my opinion, but they will win over the Lakers, and the Lakers are just being hyped up. One, because the LA City has so many fans there. I'll tell you what, the Clippers, I agree with you. The Clippers are a better team overall, but there is something to be said for having two of the top 5 players in the world on your team in LeBron and AD. That's definitely, that can overcome a lot of things, but not everything. So that's why I'm like, I don't know who's going to make it, but I won't be surprised if the Lakers make it or don't make it, because it can overcome a lot of things, but not necessarily everything. Edward Chan is saying this is Lamar's peak. These 2 to 3 years, his style won't last. And then Engraven respond with the 3 sleeping emojis. All right, man, listen. I actually don't know. Listen, I would be lying if I told you I don't expect somebody to figure out Lamar's offense by next year. I would be completely lying if I said I expect him to go in and everything to be, sunshines and daisies, because I completely expect some defenses or, some defense coordinator or somebody to figure out what he's doing to the point where they can stop him, because he's not having a repeat of last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that contradicts what I said about the NFL being a parody and whatnot, but the probability of him having another season like he did last year is extremely low, right? So there's definitely somebody that's gonna figure it out. Whether or not this is his peak, Edward, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know, because this is people love to compare to like Michael Vick and whatnot, and obviously you could see why there's the comparisons to Vick, but I feel like this is something new that we've never seen before. I feel like we've actually never seen this before. An offense ran by the Ravens, like what they're doing with Lamar. I legitimately feel like it's something new, something different than what we saw with Vic and other really mobile quarterbacks. So I'm not sure. You know what? Maybe this is the litmus test. We're gonna see however long he lasts. Barring injury, the dude could probably go for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? But he definitely has to start running a lot less if he wants to last in the NFL, though. That's for sure. Nikki says, how many members do I have? I don't know. Let me check. I don't know. I mean, it was just announced today, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's still at that fat 0. Let me see. How do I check here? Yep, it is still at 0, but like I said, completely optional. Completely optional, man. Zetato says, getting on Giants topic, I think the Giants have a cornerback addiction. Addiction? Do you mean affliction? Who do you think the starting 3? They got many options. Okay, then. I'm not sure if you meant addiction or affliction, but they definitely have a cornerback problem. Starting 3 with the guys on the roster right now, James Bradbury, Darnay Holmes, and if I'm gonna have Darnay Holmes in the slot, I'm putting Shaquille Taylor, the guy that we picked off of waivers at the second cornerback role. If I have Darnay Holmes playing the outside corner, then it's probably gonna be Julian Love in the slot. But those are like my 3 or 4 guys that I have starting right now. Those are 3 or 4 guys I have confidence in for sure. James Bradbury and Darnay Holmes for sure, I think, are going to start no matter what happens. I think those 2 guys are kind of shoo-ins at the cornerback position. James Bradbury, obviously, at the number 1 outside. Darnay Holmes, he can be either in the inside or outside. I would love for him to put him at the inside of the slot. He's a monster there, and I think that's where he's going to produce well. I think that's where he's going to have a great NFL career. But there's a chance they're going to put him outside. And if they do that, then if they put him outside, it's going to be Julian Love inside. If they use him at the slot, it's going to be Shaquille Taylor on the outside, because Shaquille Taylor has the frame, a bigger frame compared to Corey Ballantyne and Sam Beal. and obviously better health than Corey Ballantyne and Sam Beal to actually do the job, in my opinion. And the athleticism. He ran like a 4.3 at his pro day. So there's that. Here's what they'll do. Edge rushers will rush softer around and push the pocket. Bradley, in regards to what are you talking about? Edward Chan, going back to Lamar, saying he's going to get injured like RG3. That's what I'm saying. He needs to start running a lot less. And I think Engraven agrees with this. In order for him to last, I think he's going to need to ease up on the running a bit, not necessarily go down to like just 100 rushing yards in the season. No, just like ease up on the attempts. Because I think what is he averaging per attempt right now? I think the organization and Lamar himself, just for prolonging his career, might want to ease up on the rushing attempts per game. Let me pull it up. Lamar Jackson rushing attempts per game. So per game, we're going to go to NFLGameStats.com. Let's see what they have. Is this rushing attempts, right? All right. So NFL.com did not give it to me. Pro Football Reference is what we're going to check next. Rushing, advanced rushing. Where is it? Advanced rushing and receiving. Attempts per game. He's doing last year, he did 11.7 rushing attempts per game. I'm going to say they might want to cut that down to like 8 or 9. I mean, 7 or 8. I think you might want to cut that down to 7 or 8, just, to probably preserve the guy a little bit. Because you still want to use it, what I'm saying? It's part of his game 100%, but you might want to cut it down to prolong the career. Henry Skates, what's up, my guy? He says, hi, I like pizza. I can't see the emoji, because for some reason StreamYard translated it to its code name, so it says do the 5. So I'm assuming it's a high five, bro. Doing the 5. What's up? And then a YT. Is there a YouTube emoji? That's why I call it YT. Once again, StreamYard for some reason doesn't even show the emoji. It shows the actual, the CSS code of what it is. Bradley says, I'm talking about Lamar and how edge rushers will stop him. Well, that I'm going to have to look at Lamar Jackson tape to actually know about, to respond to that properly. I'll say that. Lamar is a run-first QB. As of right now, yeah, but he definitely has more passing talent than I think people give him credit for. And listen, if anything, he was an improvement year last year. He won the MVP. I think he's going to be a prove it year this year. And if he proves people right, then that's unfortunate. If he proves people wrong, that's amazing. And hey, shout out to Nikki, man. Nikki, thank you so much. She just became my first ever channel member. Thank you, Nikki. A great support of the channel. Always in here with the kind messages, supporting me, man. She just became a channel member. Now, YouTube doesn't show me which one she became, but it doesn't even matter. She is a team player. Let's go, man. Nikki, you're going to have access to perks such as exclusive gifts and emojis. If you can use it, let me know, and let me see if you could actually put the exclusive gifts and emojis in there. Of course, a loyalty badge is what you're going to get as well. There's going to be a members only live stream that I'm going to do twice a month. Once we hit like 5 members, until then, it could be like a one-on-one Skype call or something like that. And in terms of the player members, I think that's about it. But once again, I might have to check the video that I actually made describing the perks of what it is. But thank you so much to Nikki, man. Use a members only GIF or emoji. Let me see if it actually comes through. Cowboy X Factor is in the chat. What's up, Cowboy X Factor? How you doing? He says, get there, the hub and the Entertainah. Those new emojis look great. I like the names for the channel memberships. Thank you, man. I had to make it. I didn't want to make it something like, I don't know, like YouTube's generic names were trash. They were like low tier, mid tier, high tier. I was like, what? Nah. And then the whole gold and platinum thing was already taken by Kid Blue. So I was like, hey, man, I run a sports channel. Sports are teams. You know what I'm saying? Let's go with players, coaches, managers. That's literally how I came up with it. Is Jalen Hurts a NFL QB? All right. What do you guys think about this? I know I got a good amount of Giants fan in here. Of course, Cowboy X Factor is in here as well. We got some NFC East people in here, man. Is Jalen Hurts an NFL KB? Listen, Jalen Hurts is an NFL QB. Yes, he's an NFL backup quarterback. That would be the correct answer. If you're trying to ask me if he's a starting level NFL quarterback, no, he is not. And he should not start even if Carson Wentz goes down this year, which is why they took him, the Eagles. And, of course, they took him too high, about a round or two too high. But he should not start at under any circumstance this year unless, especially with this offseason. And you know what? That's something we could get into, man. This offseason is going to be extremely rough for the rookies, man, this offseason for the rookies, it's going to really bring their performances down. Like 100%. Their performances, oh my God. Like Andrew Thomas, for example, for the Giants, I'm going to ask Giants fans to please maybe temper your expectations a little bit with Andrew Thomas, with Nate Solder out and whatnot. And, he's going to be thrown into that starting role. And I love Andrew Thomas. Of course, you guys know that. I wanted him for the draft so bad, and we got him. But it's going to be rough for him. He has less than a month or a month at most to prepare for NFL level competition. And then he starts out his first 6 weeks with 6 of the best defensives, well, more specifically, defensive linemen in the league. That's going to be really, really tough. And for any rookies in general. And Cowboy X Factor brings up a good point. He says this offseason is going to be rough for the new head coaches as well, too. Yeah, that's another reason I'm starting to, temper expectations as a Giants fan a little bit. I love Joe Judge and what he's, been saying in the offseason. We have yet to see what he can show us during the regular season, but that's going to be rough, man. They have way too little time, in my opinion. I said that the NFL should, push back the season like a month or so to give both new coaches, new players, and just teams in general more time to prepare, because for the Giants, at least, padded practice begins on the 17th of August. That's not enough time to prepare for the NFL, man. That's not nearly enough time. The 17th of August, when's the first regular season game? What is it, like the second week of September or something like that? Not nearly enough time, not in my opinion. Henry Skates, no problem, man. You're welcome. You had a good question. Is Kid Blue bald yet? No, he's not, Jayden Dawkins. Why do you want Kid Blue to go bald? Is it that he just doesn't have a good hairstyle? Bradley says, did you play football in high school? Tight end and running back is what I was playing, man. Zetato says, I don't know why people say Lamar and Mahomes are the best QB. It's obviously Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, Zetato, are you okay, man? Gordon Ramsay, he's probably the best chef in the world. You okay, bro? Everything good over there? Is the Giants getting pass rusher since Nate Solder is backing out? So when Nate Solder opted out of the season, I did a I did a live stream almost immediately because I need to clean some air. I saw a lot of people, and I blame nobody for this. I saw a lot of people, kind of getting the wrong information in terms of the money the Giants were going to get back and whatnot. So Nate Solder was set to make a salary of $13 million this year, but his cap hit was what got people confused. Nate Solder's cap hit, should the Giants have cut him, was going to be $19.5 million. Right? That's the number that people got confused with. I'm not sure why there's $19.5 million cap hit. Maybe there's dead money there or something. But he was going to make $13 million this year, and his cap hit was going to be $19.5 million. So Solder, of that $13 million, he already got $3 million of that $13 million because of the roster bonus. The roster bonus for the Giants was, if you're on the roster past March 18th, you're getting that $3 million. So he got that $3 million. So then when he opted out, there's only about $10 million that the Giants would get back. The exact number, I think, was 9.9, and that's what we got back. Our total cap space right now, I think, is around $14 or $15 million. Now, this is where it gets kind of murky. Either Marcus Golden, his tender is a $4 million tender. If he's not currently counted against the cap, then when he signs that, our cap goes down to $10 million. If he is currently counted against the cap, then we're stuck with $14 million. But still, that still leaves us with around $4 million to spend because the management wants to go into the season with $10 million to spare. So the Giants don't really have money to get a pass rusher or anything. I don't think, even if they did, I thought at this point in the offseason, they really shouldn't go out and try to get anybody. It doesn't make sense to me. Borden Arrow, what's up to Borden Arrow Sports? He has a great channel over there. Make sure you guys go over there, subscribe him up, and check out the channel. Thank you, Henry Skates, man. Loving your appreciation this stream, man. It means a lot. Pizza Hut or Taco Bell? Taco Bell. I got my pizza from Domino's. That might be a whole conversation in the chat now because everybody gets their pizza from somewhere else. Dylan Renner, yep, congrats to Nikki if she's still in here, man. Nikki was the first channel member. Thank you so much to her. She's a great supporter of the channel, man. She's always in all my streams. Absolutely amazing. Bradley says, I play baseball, basketball, and football and all in high school. Wow, you're a good athlete. That's a lot of sports, man. Shortstop and OF for baseball. I'm not sure what OF is. Once again, I'm not that versed in baseball. Guard for basketball, cornerback, and safety for football, but I also return punts. What year are you in high school, Bradley? That you're doing a lot of stuff, man. Well, first of all, you might be asking why I'm going to be telling you congrats, but congrats. That takes a lot to manage all that along with your studies, man. And you got to be good at all that too. So to make the teams, man. So congrats to you, man. Dylan Renner says, Hell yeah, me too. Domino's pizza all the way. If it ain't the black box pan pizza, there's a problem though. Listen, man, Domino's pan pizza. This is one thing I won't like. I'm not up for debate, man. Domino's pan pizza is the best pan pizza I've ever had. I've had pan pizza from like just about any of the mainstream pan pizza places, man. Listen, man. Ooh, oh my god. Yo, TSI says the Mets just blew their lead. If Tana does pull up, not gonna be a happy Tana. Let me check right now. The Mets, because when I left the live stream, they were up 10-6. Mets versus Braves. Is the game over, TSI? And by the way, go over to TSI's channel also. Let's see. Did they really blow their lead? It's 10-11, end of the eighth. Oh man. So, yep, the ninth is gonna come up. We'll see how that goes, man. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, the Mets get their lead back. Jesus, that's Is there any Mets fans in the chat, man? Y'all must be feeling some type of way because the Mets don't usually score 10 points and then they just blew that lead. Ooh, I'm a Yankees fan over here, man. hopefully they come back and get it. And once again, for those of you that might just be tuning in, Tana, if you know it, if the Mets win the game, I'm gonna assume because he might be in a bad mood. But Tana was supposed to pull up. It's all good because that's a good game going on right there between the Mets and the Braves. If anything, he's gonna be on the live stream with myself, Kid Blue, and OGR on Sunday on Clip Blue's channel. We're gonna have a square table because it's four of us, four corners. So if anything, that's where Tana's gonna be with me. And he already knows, man, I'm cool if he doesn't manage to pull up because that's a pretty good game going on there for baseball fans. Too bad Taco Bell dropped their potatoes. What do you mean by that? Dropped their potatoes? Do they not have fries anymore? I've been playing since I was 6. Wow. And thank you, man. Trying hard for a scholarship. Well, you know what, Bradley? You got my support, man. Keep doing your thing. If you've been playing since 6 and you're doing that many sports now, you're 100% a dedicated young man. You got it, man. Not a lot of people can do what you're doing. Keep doing your thing. You're definitely going to get that scholarship, man. Keep working hard, bro. Domino's all the way. We got a lot of Domino's people in the chat, man. I like that. This is the most important question I'll get in my life. Pancakes or waffles? I'm gonna just say pancakes, but that's mostly because pancakes are easier to make. I don't have a waffle maker, and I can make a pancake like, you know what I'm saying? They're extremely easy to make. What about you guys? Dylan Renner says Tana's about to be pissed. Yeah, man. And there are Mets fans? Question mark. Yeah, there's Mets fans. Listen, man. Being a Mets fan, I can relate to it because I'm a Knicks fan. Well, the Mets aren't as bad as the Knicks, but they let down their fans just the same way that the Knicks do, man. So I can relate in some way. In fact, being a Knicks fan is a lot harder than being a Mets fan. But maybe if I got into baseball a little earlier, I would have been a Mets fan because I live minutes away from Citi Field. I've been to Citi Field more times than I've been to like Yankee Stadium. I think I've been to Yankee Stadium like maybe twice in my life. I've been to Citi Field probably like 4 or 5 times. Like it's literally a train ride away. Obviously not right now because of COVID and whatnot, but it's literally a train ride away. Citi Field. Also, Citi Field, this is gonna be real weird. Citi Field's architecture and just the way they built their stadium is a lot more pretty and beautiful than Yankee Stadium. And they also have a lot cleaner bathrooms than Yankee Stadium. Citi Field's bathrooms are like spotless, yo. When I went to Yankee Stadium, their bathroom was dirty. You don't want to go to the bathrooms at Yankee Stadium, man. It's trash. And MetLife Stadium, they had clean bathrooms too. MetLife Stadium, for the Giants, obviously, huge bathrooms, like absolutely gigantic, man. Bradley says, thank you. I'm in my junior year right now. Oh, that's going to be one of the most important years, man. Keep doing your thing. Will there be a college football season this year? Henry skates. I don't watch college football like that. So unfortunately, I can't really give like a well-detailed answer. Maybe somebody else in the chat could answer though. Zetato says, good choice. On Jemima to go, bro. I think the only premixed pancake mix I've ever used, because I usually make mine from scratch, was probably Bisquick, I think it's called. But I don't think I've ever used Aunt Jemima. I've used the Aunt Jemima syrup though for the pancakes. The Aunt Jemima syrup is the way to go for any pancakes. But I'm gonna tell you that the McDonald's, listen, man, the McDonald's pancakes, bro, McDonald's pancakes, ooh, McDonald's pancakes are something else, man. They are something else, bro. Sports Influencer says, just want to say also that the time I put into my videos really show, and they are really well put together. The more and more I get into editing, the more respect I have to give to you. You're insane. Thank you, Sports Influencer, man. It means a lot. And obviously, I think the more and more you get into editing is one of the reasons you'll realize the more and more I do maybe 1 to 2 heavily edited videos a week. One of them is always going to be the subscriber selected videos, and then another one will probably be my NFL primer videos because they take a lot of time. They take a lot of time. Like even recording, it probably takes me for a 20-minute video probably 1 to 2 hours to record because I have to get everything down like in my opinion as close to perfection as I can get it for the recording. And then editing takes like anywhere from 6 to 8 hours if I'm reusing a template. If I'm making a completely new template, it can take days. That's why I only do 1 to 2 heavily edited videos a week. And then now with the memberships, the highest tier, the team manager, one of the perks of being a team manager is you can basically say whatever video you want me to make, and I'll basically make it. You know what I'm saying? And that you can even specify if you want it to be heavily edited or not. You know what I'm saying? But thank you, Sports Influencer. You also have a channel over there, guys. Go over there and check him out. Ooh, the chat moved a while since I was addressing that comment. Let's see. It's because no one goes there again. No one goes to Mets games. Villain, I would correct you on that, bro. There's people go to Mets games, man. People go to Mets games. Henry, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I think I might get a strike on my channel or something. See now, if this was like 1 year ago on YouTube, unfortunately, I only started YouTube a year ago. But if it was like 1 year ago, I would 100% do this. But YouTube rules are so convoluted and strict now that I'm not even gonna risk it, bro. Like, legitimately, they at first rejected my membership application because one of the perks I wanted to give members was like giveaway luck, where it's like anytime I do a giveaway, a member will be entered X amount of times more than a regular person. But they turned that down because they were like, you can't do anything with raffles or anything like that. So YouTube, it's kind of, I don't want to try anything, to be honest with you. I remember when I was 5, I always thought I would be flung off the seat and land on the field. Are you talking about what are you talking about here, man? Is this a reference to something else? I'm not sure what you're talking about here. Is that a roller coaster? What's happening there, bro? Who is in the picture on my wall? This is from Doug. Oh, that over there. That's my family. Like, you guys can't really see it because it's actually away and my camera isn't that good. But like, I'm in that pic. My parents are in that pic. And my sibling is in that pic. Only my people from New York know the legendary greatness of chicken over rice, bacon, egg, and cheese as one word, or chopped cheese with a bev, bro. Listen, yo, Bradley, listen, my guy. I haven't had any of these in a calm minute, bro. If anybody is from NYC in here, bro, chicken over rice, the halal food from the halal carts, bro. One of the best things you'll ever eat, man. Bacon, egg, and cheese, and you have to say it as one word. One of the best things you'll ever eat, man. The chopped cheese, also only on a hero. Never get a chopped cheese on a roll. One of the best things you'll ever eat, man. You always have to have the bev. I got some bev with me right here. There's barely any water left. Always got to have the bev with you, man. Otherwise, it's not a meal, man. It's not a meal. Sports Influencer says, no problem. Definitely one of the hardest workers in the sports community. Thank you, man. That means a lot. What are the prices for the membership, though, Hub? One by one. So the first one is the team player tier. It is $199. The second one is the team coach. That's $499. And third and highest one is the team manager. That is $999. So, there's a price range for everybody. So that would be the price ranges one by one. I might pull up, since you guys are actually kind of asking about it a little bit, I might have to pull up what the perks are. I'm not sure how to actually pull it back up, though. YouTube Studio Beta is actually really tough to navigate compared to the old YouTube Studio. What is up, Kuzan in the chat? Another one of the supporters in there. How you doing, bro? How are you doing? You're not from NJ if you ain't talk like a pork roll. If you ain't like pork roll, you New York weirdos ain't know anything what you're talking about. Listen, man, Dylan, if you're from NJ, bro, I don't know what a pork roll is. Tell me which one sounds more appetizing, bro. A pork roll or a bacon, egg, and cheese? A pork roll or a chicken over rice? A pork roll or a chopped cheese with the bev? Which one sounds more appetizing to you, man? Come on now. Bradley, 100%, bro. I think I said this in my video as well. When I heard Matt Pert start talking about the chopped cheese, I know that he's a true New Yorker. I think Cam, what's his name? The Cam Brown, 6th-round pick. I think he also mentioned it, but Matt Pert, he mentioned the chopped cheese out of nowhere in one of his interviews, and I was like, yo, Matt Pert's from NYC, bro. He might have been playing at UConn, University of Connecticut, but he's from NYC because he started talking about the chopped cheese. I was like, Listen, man, I have lost respect for you. Dylan, bro, listen, man. If the pork roll is that serious, then maybe I'll have to try it out. I don't know if my deli makes pork rolls though, because that's a New Jersey thing. 100% that's a New Jersey thing. The sports influencer also says, man, you're crazy if you don't know what a pork roll is. Listen, I might have to, bro. I might have to check it out. The pork roll with ketchup, salt, and pepper. Bro, listen. If I'm gonna try it out, you guys have to try a bacon, egg, and cheese with chipotle mayo and hot sauce. Go. I don't know if you guys in NJ call it bodegas or delis or the corner store, but go there, get tell the Ak, and the Ak is the guy making the sandwich. I don't know what you guys call it in New Jersey, but tell the Ak, listen, man, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese, put some chipotle mayo on it and hot sauce. It will change your life. Trust me. I like how the stream went from NFL to anything but the NFL. I mean, man, that's the Q&A streams. That's kind of what I had in mind for the Q&A streams anyway. When I got a good amount of people in here, it's whatever in the world you guys want to talk about. That's going to be the point of these moving forward, man. Whatever in the world y'all want to talk about. It doesn't have to be NFL confined. Pork roll is better than trashy beans over rice. Well, I don't eat beans over rice, so I don't know where you're pulling that from, man. Pork roll definitely isn't the one from Kuzan. Everyone has had a bacon, egg, and cheese with chipotle mayo, but have you had it with hot sauce too? You have to have the tandem of chipotle mayo and hot sauce working together. And yes, I love chipotle mayo as well, the sports influencer. Bodega is Spanish deli. Oh, I always thought bodega was an Italian word for some reason. I don't know why. Because in NYC, the only place I hear people call delis bodegas is like Brooklyn, and it's like the Italian part of Brooklyn, and sometimes like the Italian, like specifically the Italian part of Manhattan. Everywhere else is known as like a deli. And listen, I will not agree with this because this is gonna incite a couple of things in the comment section. But I'm just pointing out that Bradley is saying something here. He's saying New Jersey is the younger sibling of New York. It's not even a question at this point. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I will say something similar. The Jets are the younger siblings of the Giants, and ain't nobody disagreeing with that. The Jets are literally an inferior version of Giants, man. They got an inferior version of Saquon and Lev Bell. Obviously, right now, I think Lev Bell in his prime is actually, probably better than Saquon. And what I'm doing right now is I'm actually looking up the Mets versus Braves game to see what's up. It's the top of the night, and the Braves are still in the lead with 11. Yeah, I don't know how Tana's gonna feel, man. Tana might feel some type of way. Yeah, going back to the Jets being the younger siblings of the Giants, they got a lesser version of running back, lesser version in the quarterback. Sam Darnold is a lesser version of Daniel Jones, lesser version of the offensive line, man. They got a lesser version of Dexter Lawrence and Quinnen Williams. And can we just acknowledge for a second that Dexter Lawrence, the guy that was taken 17th overall, is better than Quinnen Williams? And Quinnen Williams was taken what? Third overall, I think. Could be wrong, but Dexter Lawrence is definitely better than him, in my opinion. I don't even think that's a question. Man. Henry Skate says, I just ate dinner. I had chicken and rice. Do I like chicken and rice? I love chicken and rice, man. We just went over this, especially chicken over rice. Dylan Renner says, Hub, if you eat 3 pork roll, egg, and cheeses in one sitting, I will give you a membership. Dylan, ain't no deli open right now, bro. Come on, man. What? Listen, if you considering taking the membership, bro, just do it, my guy. You're gonna get the perks, bro. But I ain't got no 3. Come on, man. That's a lot of food, man. That's a lot of food. And while I got you all here, since Dylan brought up the membership, I'm gonna just, click share screen again real quick, man. Listen, bro. I go to teespring.com/store/the hub dash. I always mess it up, bro. teespring.com/stores/the dash hubs dash store official channel merch. You're not going to get my official channel merch anywhere else. If it's from another link, then somebody probably copied it. I got the NWO inspired logo here. I got my logo on a mug. I have the H block design. This is a really nice one, and they all come in different colors, by the way. I have the Your design. Obviously, you guys know where Your is from, and I have the Future design. I'm going to zoom in on this one a little bit because the words are a lot smaller. Feature the Giants on there. You got Darius Slayton, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, and then it says the Future of the franchise. And on the back, you know what I'm saying, it has their nicknames. All of these come in different colors, man. And the prices, you know what I'm saying, I made them as fairly priced as possible. Like, it's definitely a lot cheaper than what I've seen on other, YouTube merch channels and whatnot. So go out there, get whatever you want. I had to do that real quick, man, because memberships pop back up. let's uh let's get back into the stream though. Sajid says, "Where's the Entertainah?" So Tana is still doing his live stream Mets versus Braves. We did not expect it to go this long, and he even told me depending on when it ends, he might not even be able to pull up. So even though I scheduled it beforehand, the plan was to have him on. But if you go over on his channel right now, the Mets and the Braves are in a really, really close game, and I don't blame him if he can't pull up because that's baseball just started back, sports in general just started back, and he's having probably one of the best games of the baseball season. He's streaming there right now. Even if the Mets lose, that's a really close game. That's something exciting that I won't even be mad if he doesn't manage to pull up to. But we still had a great time, Q&A in here, and Tana will be on the Square Table live stream on Kid Blue's channel this Sunday. It's going to be me, Tana, Kid Blue, and OGR. At least that's the plan for now. I'm saying that's the plan for now. Let me look back what I missed at during me plugging the merch. Let's see. Have I ever had a sesame seed bagel with cream cheese and bacon on it? Yes, I have. Yo, is this a New York thing? Because I don't know anybody else that gets a bagel with cream cheese and bacon. I had it like once or twice back in sophomore year of high school. At first, before I had it, I was like, that's disgusting. Who puts cream cheese and bacon together? And then I had it, and I was like, oh my God, this is actually pretty good, man. I don't know where it's been all my life, but I had it like once or twice before I went back to the good old bacon, egg, and cheese, man. I find it how the oldest child is the Giants, the middle is Jets, and the youngest Bills. Are Bills even part of the sibling, man? Are Bills even part of the relationship? I feel like the Bills are off doing their own thing. Like if anything, the Bills and the Jets should be compared more as siblings because they're actually in the same, conference together. But I don't know. I think I have more respect for the Bills than I do the Jets, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because the Bills went to 4 Super Bowls in a row. They've had some success in their thing. So Dylan Renner says, where do all the city people go? They travel across the parkway and travel to luxury New Jersey beaches. I don't want to hear the younger brother BS. Yo, Dylan Renner, I'm going to tell you right now, I've never heard of anybody traveling across the parkway to go to New Jersey beaches. And I'm a city person. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely a city person. I definitely have all my friends are city people. I'm pretty well versed in NYC. You know what I'm saying? I went to middle school in Queens, high school in Brooklyn, and now I'm going to college in Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? 3 main boroughs. I'm pretty well versed. Got a pretty diverse, in terms of where my friends are from, selection of friends. Ain't nobody going over to New Jersey for the beaches, bro. We either always go to Coney Island, or they goes to Rise Plainland, or they even go into Long Island, bro. But I ain't never heard of anybody going across the parkway to go to the beaches in New Jersey doing. You might be speaking to some rich people or something, my guy. Oh my God, the Mets lost. Ah, the Mets lost. Yo, can we get an F in the chat for the Entertainah, bro? Press F to pay your respects for the Entertainah talking sports because the Mets just lost. He was extremely happy when I tuned into his stream earlier because the Mets were up 10-6. The Braves apparently made a comeback and they won 11-10. Can we please? I'll even start it. Can we please get a F in the chat? Press F to pay your respects for the Entertainah and the Mets. Thank you guys. That's yeah. I don't think. Listen, I won't even be mad, Bradley. I won't even be mad. And either way, I wasn't gonna be mad. Not to send a mixed message or anything, but yeah, I don't even blame him. You kidding me? That's a heartbreaking loss. What are they 3-5 now? I think. Yeah, they're 3-5 now. Yeah, man. If he doesn't, I'll completely understand if he doesn't pull up because that's a heartbreaking loss. Wolves just pulled up in the chat. I'm guessing Wolves is a Mets fan, but yeah, we got a bunch of Fs in the chat, bro. Yo, I can't read it out loud, but that's funny. That is funny, my guy. 3 blown leads. What are you talking about this season? Have the Mets? Let me pull up the Mets schedule, yo. Like this season, let's go to their schedule. 6-5 against the Red Sox. I'm assuming that was one of their blown leads. 5-3 against the Braves. I'm not seeing anything else real quick here. But was the Red Sox one of the blown leads? And if what else, my guy? What else? But yo, Jesus. Hey man, Wolves is going off. I can't blame you. That was a good game. Because I was in Entertainah stream for like the past hour or two before I started my stream. It was a good game, man. The Mets start off hot. There was a streak there where they just like hit good ball after hook ball, man. Yo, listen, man. Mets, Falcons, Warriors, Texans can't hold on to leads. It's more sad than Kid Blue's hairstyle. Yeah. Bro, yo, to be honest with you, I don't even think I remember seeing Kid Blue ever without his hat on. Is that weird? I don't know. And speaking of hairstyle, yo, I gotta cut my hair eventually. Whenever my hair gets big, it gets really, really curly, and it gets hard to like brush and comb. I gotta do it eventually, man. Future is looking bright for the draft. How does the MLB draft work, guys? Let me know. Hub, I'm not trending, but have I ever had bake and shark, or do I like doubles or aloo pie better? I've never eaten shark in my life, bro. I don't think I plan to eat shark in my life, Bradley. But I've had doubles before. And between doubles and aloo pie, bro, I'm gonna go doubles. It has a little bit more, sting to it. Aloo pie is literally, to me, they're the same, but doubles has a little bit more thing to it, my guy. So Wolf says they blew game 2 against the Braves, Red Sox to 6-5, and tonight again against the Braves. Damn, yo, Mets are really out here, bro. Yo, if there's any Mets in the chat, bro, I'm sorry. And Henry Skates continuing with the F. Jayden Hoffman's continuing with the F, man. Yankees would never A. Listen, I'm a very, very casual baseball fan. And being a New Yorker, that's probably why I gravitated towards the Yankees. But at least I can say that what you call it, man, that the Yankees, I don't see the Yankees blowing leads like this, man. I can say that. I can say that. Do I have a Franklin's where I live? Franklin's, a restaurant named Franklin's. I don't think so. I could look it up. Let's see. Franklin's restaurant. What in the world? The first one that popped up is all the way in Austin, Texas, bro. Yeah, there ain't no Franklin's where I live, man. Actually, the closest one is in Maryville in Baltimore. There is no Franklin's where I live, man. Also, did I mention forget the Mets? I don't think you mentioned it, Wolves. You might have to put it a couple more times in the chat, bro. I don't think I really heard that. Anybody see Wolves touch this? I don't think anybody saw Wolves touch this. Hub, before I give you a membership, I still need to subscribe first. Dylan, you're already subscribed, bro. There's literally a badge next to your name that I see that tells me whether you're subscribed or not. I'm going to just let you know that. There's always a badge next to the name that tells me whether somebody is subscribed or not. Oh, my God. What's up, Raymond? Mets go up 10-0 against my Yankees, and we come back in the ninth inning to win. Oh, my God. Oh, so according to Sajid, Chris is coming over. Also, according to New York Sports MC, Jersey Life, what's up, man? And TSI says he is coming. Oh, my God. Listen, and shout out to Talking Sports with Landon. We're gonna get into that in a second, Landon, because we're all just kind of yo, there's a great choke job, Mets. Everybody is out here. Listen, man, the Mets. I'm gonna just refer back to this comment. In fact, I'm gonna keep this comment up until Chris comes in because I want to see Chris's response to it. And good night, Bradley. I hope you have a good one, man. Bradley, great support of mine. I was actually talking to him earlier today on Instagram DM. So have a good one, Bradley. No pressure, Hub. What you talking about, man? What you talking about, Willis? Anyway, so let's talk about one of the earlier questions from Talking Sports with Landon. What do I think the Giants record will be this season? Before I realized how much little time they had to prepare, I was saying 7-9. Now I'm thinking maybe 6-10. I'm not being pessimistic or anything. I'm just taking the more like I'm cautiously optimistic for the Giants. I think realistically speaking, they're going to be around that 6-10, 7-9 range. But it honestly depends. This is going to sound weird. I think it depends on how the Eagles do for the Giants. I think depending on how the Eagles do, that's going to affect really how the Giants do. Because the Eagles, this is the year more than any year I think they're going to fall off. And if they fall off, they can fall to the 3rd seed. They could fall below the Giants, and that could elevate us to the 2nd seed. But I do realistically think we're 6-10, 7-9 team. A lot of it, and I mean a lot of it, has to do with how little time they have to prepare. I said it earlier in the chat, especially like the rookies. We have a lot of young guys that have like only less than a month to prepare, like realistically for the NFL season. And then you talk about even the coaches, like the coaches as well. We have a brand new coaching staff. They have just as this, the same amount of time, bro. They have like 2 weeks to prepare for it, man. I don't know. What's up to Nick the Wick and Lake Nona? Entertainah. Oh, he just popped in, actually. Let me add him to the stream. There he is. Tana, before you say anything, can you look at the comment I have up on the screen, man, and respond to that comment? I can't hear you.
No. You should be able to hear me now. My mic was muted by accident.
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah,
I'm gonna
so
pull up your chat right now so I can see it.
for
Um,
sure, you want to read the comment that I have pinned, man? I had this comment pinned since I saw what happened.
Mets go up 10-0 against the Yankees, and we come back in the ninth inning and win.
What do you have to say about that, man?
Listen, man. After tonight, as a Mets fan, I mean, I'm used to this. Things like this have happened to the Mets.
Man, before we even get into anything, let me hear your thoughts because when I left the stream, the Mets were up 10-6. What happened?
Mets were up 8-2 at one point. I think they were up 10-4, 10-6. They give up 5 runs in the bottom of the eighth, and they end up losing 11-10. And they had runners on first and second, 2 out in the top of the ninth. But I'm used to this as a Mets fan, man. And that's what I was saying to everybody in my stream. I said, this is what's built character. I mean, Giants fans are going through this right now, too. We find ways to lose. This is when you find out if you're a real fan, period, end of story. And Met fans have to endure this a lot, unfortunately. But it's why I know it sucks. Trust me. I'm just as upset as anybody right now. I'm a very passionate Met fan. It sucks when you lose games like this. It builds character. It makes you appreciate your team that much more when you finally win. And when the Mets finally do win a World Series, which hopefully they do before I die,
I think that might happen. That's a long time.
It might, but if when it finally happens, I always say it's going to feel like 50 Yankee championships, and that's what I watch for. It's for that feeling. Mm-hmm. And when it finally happens, I'm going to think back to nights like this. I'm going to think back to 1,000 nights throughout my life rooting for this team.
You say to yourself, it's all worth it.
It's all it takes is one championship, and it erases everything, and it makes you appreciate that championship so much.
I compare it to the whenever you say that, because I'm in a couple of your Mets streams and I hear you say that, I always think to the Eagles championship, man. One of the reasons Eagles fans used to love to, or still do love that, to rub that championship, even in Giants fans, any fans' faces, because they went through basically the same thing. First championship ever. It means a lot to them.
Yeah, we got 2, but I didn't get to experience them. And it's the same thing with the Knicks. If the Knicks ever win, I guarantee if I'm live on YouTube, am I frozen right now, by the way?
Win, bro. Yeah, your screen is frozen, but your sound is coming through just fine. I'm not sure what's up with the screen.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right. They can still see your face, technically.
Yeah, I don't know why my screen's frozen, but you can hear me. Listen, I've told my subscribers before if I just dropped out. Hold on.
You dropped you're still here, but your screen is
okay. I'm getting rid of all my everything that's open, and maybe that'll work. If not, if it's annoying, if it's lagging, I'll just get rid of the camera. Oh, now I'm good. It looks like I'm coming in good now.
Yeah, it looks like you're coming in good, yeah.
But I say it all the time, if the Knicks or the Mets ever win, I'm just gonna break down. Like I will literally bawl for all the torture.
Man, because I'm a huge Knicks fan, bro. Like anytime there's any Knicks player like within the city that I could go see them, I always try and go see them, man. I'm a huge Knicks fan. If the Knicks ever win a championship, bro, that's the biggest thing I'm a big Giants fan, obviously, but at least I got to experience 2 of the championships. I'm very young. I've never gotten a chance to experience a time where the Knicks were realistically contenders. I don't even count that. What was it, 2010 or 2011 season with Melo? Because at that time, I think the Heat was also coming on. I never really considered us real contenders against the Heat. Man, if the Knicks ever win a championship, bro, I will cry out of happiness, man.
Yeah, I've seen 2 Knicks championships, runs, not championships. I saw them go to the finals in '94 when I was 9, and I was a big fan back then, even as a little kid. And I saw them going to the finals in 2000 or '99 or whatever it was, when they were the 8 seed. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing like it. New York, for all the young people that just got into basketball or just got into New York sports, they don't realize when the Knicks are good, they're the toast of the town. They're the most popular team in New York City when the Knicks are good. I'm talking bigger than the Yankees. They just haven't been good for forever. But
man, sell the team.
Yeah, they need to sell the team is right. But I'm not. I should buy. I would love to buy the Knicks. Are you kidding me? I'd be a much better owner than James Dolan.
Oh, shout out to PTA Sports in the chat. PTA Sports is another great YouTuber over there. Yo, listen, PTA, before I read your super chat, and by the way, thank you for it, man. I hit you up on Twitter a couple times, man. Check it out. I've always wanted to bring you on. You seem like a really fun guy. He says, you thought you could run, Chris? You can't run. I'm assuming that's referring to the Mets, man.
Oh, I got to text him, by the way. He gave me his number. I keep meaning to do that. PTA Sports is a great guy, and I take it all in good fun, man. It's sports are fun, and I know it's all out of love, especially when it's coming from Giants fans, just getting their shots in. And after a game like that, if you're a Mets fan, you got to expect it. Just like I would just like if the Yankees blew a game like that, I'd take my shot. So I expect it, man. PTA man's a great guy, and
PTA is really fun.
Anybody that hasn't done so, go over there and subscribe to him. Love working with that guy.
Facts. MH says Entertainah quickly recovered from his Mets collapse.
Who said that?
MH.
Yeah, listen, I'm a man of my word. I said I was coming on the channel. I went on right after the fact.
Hey, listen, man, I thank you for that, by the way.
I'm used to it, MH. I'm used to it. Trust me, as a Mets fan.
He's battle hardened.
Yeah, I get battle scars. Yeah, it's tough. Trust me, I'm not going to sleep well tonight. I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll be like, I'm probably not going to call the game tomorrow. I think I need a day.
Have PTSD, guys.
Yeah, I need a day off tomorrow. I don't think I'll be calling the
game tomorrow. Yeah, I was going to suggest that. I actually saw somebody say, listen, man, Chris, you need a break, bro. This is too much. You need to take a little break.
Yeah, I'll probably take a day off tomorrow from calling the next game. That was a tough one to endure.
Jayden Dawkins says Mets and Knicks should be canceled forever. Listen, I don't know about the Knicks because I'm a big Knicks fan, man. Mets, obviously, I'm a Yankees fan. But listen, bro, when you got fans, you know, like Chris over here that are like obviously just supporting the Mets through and through, you cannot, man. You can't do that. You got to keep it out there for these guys.
Listen, man, a lot of people make fun of the Mets, make fun of the Knicks.
Listen, the Knicks, rightfully so. And like I said, I'm a big Knicks fan, rightfully so.
But I wear my colors proudly, man. I'm always going to root for my Mets just as loud as any one of my other teams. I love my teams. And like I said, when you have to go through the dark times, it's when you're going to appreciate it when things get really good. So that's what I love about Knick and Met fans. I respect the hell out of the Met and Knick fan bases because they've had to endure so much. And they're just as passionate, just as educated as any other fan base in New York sports. And that's why I love rooting for those teams. The fan bases, it's like a family. We've all gone through such torture, torment, but it makes you appreciate one another. It's kind of like you go to war together, and and when things get great, you're gonna really you'll really appreciate it.
Exactly. And yo, listen, I said the same thing 2017 Giants too, man. And by the way, shout out to Dylan Renner. He might have made a mistake there with donating a membership, but memberships just became live on my channel today, guys. It's available, completely optional. I want to stress that you do not have to get it. Everybody in here is a great supporter. You don't have to get it to show your support. Subscribe to the hub. And I got merch. Real quick, I'm gonna.
I was laughing at his profile picture.
His profile. Oh yeah, Dylan. This has been his profile picture for a while, for like a good month or two.
That was not my finest moment, Dylan.
Do you remember what this is from? Any particular stream? You just look tired there.
That was when I couldn't cut my hair.
Really?
Because of the pandemic. Actually, my hair's getting long again.
Is it?
It's not that long. But
yeah, it's not that long yet.
Yeah. It's getting long again.
But yeah, real quick, I'm gonna shamelessly plug the merch one more time, guys, just because. Listen, man, you guys gotta check this out, bro. This is some clean merch over at teespring.com. You know, link is in the description. We got 4 designs out there. If you guys were wrestling fans, you would know the NWO design. I have the H block design, which is a color block in H's. I got the Your on sweatshirts, you know, socks if you guys want it, a beach towel. And this is one of my personal favorites, the future of the franchise. If it would load. On there, I got Daniel Jones, Darius Slayton, Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, and on the back, I got their nicknames. Everything is available in multiple colors and fair pricing. Want to get that out there real quick because I spent a lot of time on that. And, shout out to Diehard Giants fan, new member, my second ever member on the channel. Thank you, Diehard Giants fan, so much, man. New member, welcome to it. You'll see the perks, all that, man. Thank you so much.
I got to say, man, I think you put in a lot of work on your channel. You deserve everything that you get, and I think you're one of the most underrated channels on Giants YouTube. I don't just say that. I think your editing is terrific. I think you put a lot of work into your videos, and everything you get, you deserve. I wish you had more subscribers. You deserve it.
Thank you, Chris. Man, listen, it's a grind, man, but I appreciate it. It's kind of like how we were talking about. It's not even a hard time because I love what I'm doing, but it's a grind. And the more and more I get, the more and more thankful I am for, man. Thank you. You were one of my inspirations to start it, so it means a lot coming for you, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got it, man.
And did Nikki just use a Daniel Jones gif? I can't see it because what's it called? StreamYard doesn't show the actual thing. They show what is that called, man? The apostrophe thingy. But I think that might be a whatchamacallit, one of the member emojis and gifts that I've set up for you guys.
Oh,
let me see if I could load it up here. It is indeed is the member gif of Daniel Jones dropping dimes. That's one of the gifts I put in for you guys. So Danny Dimes, yo, that's one of the things you're gonna get. One of the questions, let's actually get back to the Q&A section. I can't remember who asked it, but they said, with basically the way the offseason is going and the fact that players have literally less than a month to prepare for the season, including the new coaches, what are you seeing for the Giants this season in terms of record? I said beforehand I was thinking 7-9. I don't know now, maybe somewhere around 6-10, 5-11. Am I being too pessimistic?
No, I don't think you are. First off, hopefully we play 16 games. Now you're seeing this with baseball. Supposedly I didn't get a chance to read the article. Supposedly there's going to be a meeting on Monday. Two St. Louis Cardinals players got it now or something like that. We'll see.
And I remember that the Yankees game was delayed too, just a couple days ago and whatnot.
Yeah. But if they play 16 games, I mean, here's the thing. This is such a tough season to predict because you don't know what the teams are going to look like. It's just like baseball. What if the Eagles, half their team gets infected with this virus?
Mm-hmm.
What if so it's such a tough season to predict, and a lot of the success this year is going to be predicated on that, the teams that remain healthy, because there's going to be teams that get sick, believe me.
Bro, and you mentioned healthy. Injuries are going to skyrocket this year, in my opinion, because they have so little time to
prepare. It's not a normal offseason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, you got what, 10 padded practices? Somebody was telling me the 14 practices, 10 of which are padded. Somebody was telling me during the Mets live stream. So I think it's going to be an abnormal offseason. It's incredibly hard to predict, to really give a legitimate record prediction. But no, I mean, if you think 5-6 wins, I think that's pretty realistic for this team. And it's not because they're not improved. They're definitely improved. Mm-hmm. But it's because of what you said. There's so much turnover. You have a completely new coaching staff. You've got completely new schemes that all these guys have to learn. They haven't been able to learn them. They just got there today. They haven't even begun real practices yet. I know
padded practice begins on like the 17th of August, bro. You know what is that, like 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So that's not nearly enough.
Yeah, it's not nearly enough. And the Giants are at a big disadvantage because of that. I mean, like I said, young team learning new systems. So no, I don't. And they play a tough schedule. Vegas ranks
them. Oh my God. Yo, the first 6 weeks of the Giants schedule is horrendous.
Vegas ranks the schedule as the second hardest schedule in the NFL. If you look at the over-unders,
who's ahead of us?
I can't remember, but we were the second hardest schedule based off of over-unders, which is record predictions based on Vegas's projections. So the Giants play an incredibly hard schedule. They're playing the NFC West, toughest division probably in the sport, and the AFC North, which very well might be the second best division in the sport. So
the Giants are not getting any type of passes this season when it comes to the schedule, man. And you talk about the rookies. I said this earlier in the stream. I feel like we have to start tempering our expectations for the offensive line, including myself. Because earlier in the offseason, I was one of the guys saying, yo, you guys are not going to believe how good this Giants offensive line is going to be because of all the work they put in, with the draft and the offseason. Now you got to completely temper it, man. Andrew Thomas is a rookie. Just like with everybody else, he has way too little time to prepare. We don't know what's happening with the right tackle situation. We don't know what's happening with the center position. Don't be surprised if the performance from the offensive line is very similar, if not the same, than what it was last year. And last year's offensive line was bad.
Yeah, I think the offensive line this year, if I had to guess, this is just my honest opinion, I think it's going to be a lot like 2018. I think the first half of the year, they're going to struggle. I think the second half of the year, they're going to play really well. I think it'll be a tale of two halves for this offensive line this year. I think they have the talent. I strongly believe in Andrew Thomas. I really do. I think we have very good guards. I think Hernandez is definitely going to play better this year. I believe in Zeitler. The center's a huge question mark. Right tackle, hopefully they're comparable or slightly better to Mike Remmers last year. I don't think that's too much to ask. I think we could have an average to slightly above average offensive line the second half of the year. But when you factor in no preseason, the teams we're playing early on, like you said, with their pass rushes, it's a lot to ask for this to be a top 15 offensive line the first 8 games of the year.
It's where Mark Colombo is going to have to work his magic. He's going to have to now show why the Giants hired him, man. And, he was, rightfully so, he was being touted as one of the best, if not the best offensive line coaches in the league. He's going to have to show that now for sure.
Yeah, no, and it's going to be challenging. I make no mistake about it. And it's going to be, we'll see. I'm trying to be optimistic with the Giants. I always try to be, and anything could happen in the NFL. I want to reiterate that. I'm not giving up on the Giants before the year starts, just like I never give up on my Mets or my Knicks before the season starts. But even football, more than anything, anything can happen. I mean, every year there's 2 or 3 teams that you think are going to win 5 games, they win 10. So anything could happen. Chips bounce the right way.
It's a parity.
It's parity. The only way the Giants are going to make the playoffs this year or surprise people this year, Saquon Barkley. The offensive line has to perform up to par right away. We have to be able to grind out the clock, win time of possession to hide the deficiencies in our defense. You're not going to be able to get into shootouts with these teams. You're going to have to grind out the clock, get 32 out of the 60 minutes, not turn the ball over, be good in special teams, which I expect them to be. But we're going to have to win games in the trenches. We're going to have to win games by dirty, right? We're not going to be able to get into shootouts and have these pretty wins. We're going to have to win games 17-14, grinding out the clock.
Exactly. And did I highlight? Jawad says his O-line would be defense. Unfortunately, that's not the one I meant to highlight. No offense to you, Jawad, because the chat moved. Colby Mead said, because he's asked this question a couple of times, World Series prediction. Now, I will say I'm not that versed in the MLB and baseball in general. I'm a very, very casual fan. But I will say I think it might be Yankees, Dodgers. I'm going to kind of lean to Chris a little bit more on this one. He's a lot bigger of a baseball fan than I am. What do you think for World Series prediction?
I mean, I would say Yankees, Dodgers. But here's what I'll say about baseball this year, more so than any other year. It's a crapshoot. Anybody that gets in could win because of the first off the shortened season, but secondly,
how many games are they playing, by the way?
Only 60, so it's like a third of a season.
Yeah, baseball season is usually extremely long, man.
Yeah, and secondly, the fact that they added another round because now 16 teams are making the playoffs instead of 8, and the first series is 2 out of 3. Look around; any team could lose to any team in a 2 out of 3 series in baseball. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, if you ask me, the Yankees, Dodgers, but if there's any year where chalk is not going to win the World Series, it's this one. Because in a 2 out of 3 series, take the worst team in baseball. The Orioles could beat the Yankees.
Man, the Mets could get in there, bro. Straight
That's
up.
What I'm saying. If the Mets ever got in with Jacob deGrom as their starter, you never know. But it's anybody's ball game in baseball. But yeah, if I was picking right now, Yankees and Dodgers are the two best teams.
For sure. Shout out to Diehard Giants fan with the $5 super chat. Thank you for the $5 donation, bro. He says, the hub, you killing it, bro. Man, respect to you both. I hope Nate Solder opting out doesn't affect Andrew Thomas. Thank you for the compliment, man. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, we were kind of talking about this a little bit. So Andrew Thomas specifically, we said the offensive line, you said it might be like 2018. What are you seeing for Andrew Thomas specifically?
I love Andrew Thomas. And I think he's going to be fine on the left side. It may take a couple of games. And I think I'll tell you this. If he plays well the first 5 games with the players he's going up against, I'm all aboard the Andrew Thomas train.
Are you telling me you're not aboard the Andrew
Thomas
train
aboard
right now?
I'm all aboard right now.
Okay.
But I'm saying I'll even feel that much more confident about Andrew Thomas. But he could struggle early on. I wouldn't be surprised. Growing pains, left tackle. You're going up against NFL athletes, guys that, you're talking about veterans, guys that have been in the league for 5-10 years that know what they're doing. So it might be a bit of an adjustment period for Thomas, especially with the shortened off season. But if he struggles early on, I definitely think he'll finish strong. And I expect Thomas to be one of the top left tackles in the NFL for the next decade.
Listen, if Thomas with the short, the shortened time to prepare and whatnot, and those first 6 weeks against the defensive line he's going up, if he somehow performs well, is it too far off for me to say he's going to be in line to be one of the best left tackles in the league?
No, I don't think. Listen, if we're taking a tackle 4th overall,
yeah,
he better be one of the best left tackles in the NFL. I mean,
honestly, that's what do you think about this?
I'm not saying day one, but
what do you think about this argument? Because I've heard this before, and part of me agrees with it. They're like, if he's been taking 4th overall, top 5 pick, he should be able to overcome the circumstances. What do you think about that?
I'll say I'm not going to fully judge him until the second half of the year. I could see him struggling a little bit early on. I think that's normal for a rookie. I'm not going to put too high of expectations on him to start the year, but by the second half of the year, I hope he's in full stride. I'm expecting him to be in full stride. And I'm fully confident he's going to be a top 5-6 left tackle in the NFL. And if you get a top 5-6 left tackle in the NFL for the next 10 years, you're golden. You're good.
You're Marcus Golden, bro. You're good.
You're Marcus Golden. You're good. And there's nothing more valuable than having a great tackle, though, for 10, 15 years.
Exactly, man. DJ, listen, did you see the picture of DJ, by the way? I don't know if you saw pictures of DJ on Twitter. He actually looks like he buffed up. I don't know if you've seen those pics.
Well, I know he did. They said I didn't see the pics, but they said he gained 9 pounds.
Man, he low-key looks like a professional wrestler, bro. Like, he looks really buffed up.
Good.
The sports influencer says, Chris, I'm very impressed how you could stare at the camera and talk like you do. Very impressive, I must. I gotta say, same thing, man. Did you just do that just because you've been on YouTube for a little bit over a year, 2 years now? And was that just off the experience, or what is that? Is there some type of form of profession you were in that allows you to do that?
Are you serious? I never realized. Nobody's ever told me that.
No, it's literally, it looks like, we know you're looking into a camera, but it literally looks like you're staring at me, bro. Like you're just looking at me. That's how it seems.
No,
I don't know. Maybe you're
I mean,
just good at it.
I think when you do this as often as I do, I mean, think about how many videos I've made. I've probably made like 1,500 videos. I could do the intro right now on the spot. Well, what is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video, and today we're going to talk about why Andrew Thomas is going to kick ass this year against Chase Young. No, you just get so used to it talking to the camera, and yeah, it's just second nature now. But I guess it's just like anything else, like riding a bike. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get.
Exactly. And by the way, I won't say I disagree with what he said against Chase Young because me and Kiblu were talking about it at one point, bro. Andrew Thomas in college, Josh Allen, remember the guy we all wanted last year? He basically flung Josh Allen like a rag doll last year when he played against him when Josh Allen in his senior year. Andrew Thomas has a lot more strength than people have, which gives me a lot of confidence for when he goes up against Chase Young.
Andrew Thomas, yeah, and Caleb on Chase on as well. He took care of him. You look at the tape; he's done a great job against some of the best pass rushers in the league. Listen, the guy played in the SEC, the best conference in all of football. He went up against the best teams there are to offer, and he didn't surrender. I don't think a hit his entire junior season. So
he didn't give up a sack.
The sack or hit.
And you talk about what's his name? Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm ain't no mobile QB. Jake Fromm's a statue. That even makes it more impressive, the fact that he didn't give up a QB hit or a sack, man.
Yeah, no, good point about Jake Fromm. But everything here about the guy, great work ethic, very intelligent. I think he's going to do a great job for the Giants. It might take a little time. He's a rookie, right? I don't want to set that bar way too high. And it's not like a position like running back where I thought it was completely fair. Saquon Barkley, you expect right away. Left tackle is a little bit more of an adjustment period. So maybe it takes half a season for him to really get where we're expecting. But I do think he's going to have a very sound rookie year, and I think he's going to be a great player.
And by the way, shout out to Big Blue Jabroni in the chat, guys. Go check him out. Newer Giants YouTuber, help him get off the ground, puts out good content there. Very interesting character with the Big Blue Jabroni. He has the basically like a Rey Mysterio Giants mask. I think that's pretty cool. I'm a big pro wrestling fan. Jersey Life says easily 1,500 videos. I don't know. I think it might be closer to 2,000 or something. You put out like 3 videos a day at some point, man.
During the right time of the year, I'll put out 3, sometimes 4 videos in a day.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably about 1,500. Maybe it's a little more. But
maybe a little more.
Big Blue Jabroni's got a great. He's a great guy. First off, I love working with him. Go there, check him out. I'm looking forward to going on his channel again soon. Definitely an emerging Giants YouTuber.
For sure. And listen, this was another one I saw earlier. Let's get into this a little bit. The NFL Top 100, man. Let me hear your thoughts. I don't even need to go a bit further. I think you know what I'm going to ask about. What you think, man? Just give me your thoughts on the NFL Top 100.
Oh, God, that list is awful. Okay, I'm not even going to complain about Saquon Barkley. I understand that he got hurt, 31. I thought that was fair. Now, if you're asking me, do I think he's the 31st most talented player? I'm going to say you're out of your mind. But he got hurt. Earn your spot. I completely get it. But if we're talking about earning your spot, Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray is the most overhyped athlete in the NFL. I don't care. And I know you got a lot of young kids in here that play Madden, that play fantasy. They love the mobile quarterback, and maybe he's going to be great. But I'm not going to call him great until he earns it. The guy had 20 touchdowns in 16 games. He had like the 29th best touchdown percentage in the entire league. He was up there in terms of interception percentage. He had a bad QB rating. He had a bad completion. Well, he had a good completion percentage. But Kyler Murray,
Chris, all you need to say, bro, I think you said it in a Twitter post earlier today. Tell me what quarterbacks he made the list over.
Carson Wentz, and game over. But he made it over Carson Wentz. He made it over Matt Stafford. He made it over Matt Ryan. Those guys, Matt Ryan's been
Matt Ryan and Matt Stafford, the two mans, they stay getting disrespected, bro. They stay get disrespected. But listen, and I made a video on this. Bobbitt says, Christopher, are you drunk? Kyocera Murray is great. I don't know if that's a joke or if you mistyped. Listen, I made a video on this like maybe last week. It was talking about Kyler Murray and Drew Lock. I was like, I don't get what all the hype is. I understand being excited for a player's progression based on what they did a rookie season. You know, this is more so talking about Kyler Murray. What I don't understand is why people are putting him, because this is something I've legitimately seen, putting him in the MVP conversation for the next year, saying he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the next year. I don't understand it, and I think it's BS. And I got a lot of hate on that video. That was a video like I got so much hate on. I was surprised. I was like, there's a lot of people that genuinely believe he's going to be the next MVP.
Maybe he will. You know, I think, but at the end of the day, if you want to tell me that, and first off, he's way too high in the MVP odds. He's 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Way too high. Because to win the MVP, you got to make the playoffs. Are the Arizona Cardinals going to make the playoffs?
I think we forget what their defense is and their offensive line.
Seattle's a much better team. San Francisco's a much better team. So they're the 3rd best team at best in that division. You could argue that the Rams could be better.
Yeah, the Rams could have a bounce back year.
But let's just say they're the third best team in that division. You can't put them any higher than that. So how is he fifth or sixth for the MVP award? Now, if you're going to tell me that Kyler Murray is immensely talented, he could be a great quarterback. I'll agree with that. He could be, but he's not yet. So he should not be on those lists. He hasn't proven anything yet. The guy didn't even he had a mediocre rookie year. He didn't even deserve the Rookie of the Year award.
Thank you. Daniel Jones should have gotten it, cough, cough. But thank you. And another thing in the video, I got a lot of hate for people saying, oh my God, Daniel Jones, why are you comparing Kyler Murray to Daniel Jones? Stats don't mean anything. The only thing I responded, I was like, all right, then why are you so hype on Kyler Murray? Because what you're defending Kyler Murray with right now is stats. And I agree, stats don't tell the whole story. But tell me, other than, listen, the guy throws in terms of accuracy, I think he's genuinely one of the better accurate, passers in the league that I've seen. But that's really about it. I don't see what makes him a great, stupendous, can't miss quarterback. I don't see it.
He's fun to watch. He's entertaining. He was a great college player, great athlete.
Okay. Tana, keep it real. How was he fun to watch last year? Fitz Vegas says it all the time. The Arizona Cardinals offense was UPS ground shipping, not that air raid offense, bro. He was not fun to watch last year.
I think Kyler Murray is just the guy you want to root for. I think fans love, and he could be great. He could be.
I want to make that clear. You know what I'm saying? Going back to the NFL as a parody, he could be great.
And the other thing I want to say is this. I think everybody sees these young quarterbacks the last 2 years that have broken onto the scene and had these MVP years, and everybody wants to pick the next guy. Pat Mahomes, 50 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson had the year he had last year, and everybody's like, it's got to be Kyler Murray. There's going to be another guy this year. It's going to be Kyler Murray. And maybe it will be, but pump the brakes. That doesn't happen that often. It's just a coincidence that 2 years in a row, two guys broke onto the scene with years like that. Kyler Murray could have a great year.
I said that as well. I'm like, yo, just because it's 2 years in a row doesn't mean it's a pattern. Even if it's a pattern, this is real life. This is not a math problem where it's like it's going to continue happening, bro. There's a lot of variables in real life. Like, come on now, chill out.
Yeah.
And listen, so Kyler Murray being on the list. Another person I talked about in that video was Drew Lock. We can talk about it a little bit. I don't know if you've seen it, but I watch a lot of NFL, like general NFL YouTubers, guys like That Franchise Guy. I don't know if you know about Football Analysis, Zach Schaumler and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I've legitimately seen videos giving the same hype, not necessarily MVP hype, but the same level of hype to Drew Lock. And that I find is even more ludicrous than giving the hype to Kyler Murray, simply because he had a small sample size game where he went 4-1. And I think people forget the Broncos. Like, do you remember last year when the Broncos got Joe Flacco? People were like, oh my God, they're back in the playoffs. That tells you how good of a team they were.
I might look like a fool here. I might look like a fool here, and I'm never scared to share my opinion before the season starts. A lot of YouTubers might not put their neck on the line. Denver Broncos are going to be horrible this year. Denver Broncos are one of the most overrated teams in the NFL. I see everybody jumping all over the Denver Broncos because they get weapons. They went 4-1 over Drew Lock's last 5 starts. The Denver Broncos' biggest problem last year was the offensive line. The offensive line got worse. They lost their center, the best member of the offensive line. He went to the Jets. I don't see the hype with the Denver Broncos unless you're a fantasy football player. I don't see it. I know they got weapons. Drew Lock played 5 games. And I think Pat Shermer will do a good job with Drew Lock. He's a good quarterback guy. I'm not buying the Denver Broncos. I'm not. I maybe 6-7 wins. I'm not buying them as a playoff team. I'm not buying it. I'm not. Their offensive line is still a big problem, and it got worse.
Mm-hmm. And Jayden Dawkins here, this is what I always say, man. Or not always, but this is what I bring up sometimes too. You want to talk about weapons? DJ hasn't played a single week yet where all his weapons were healthy. That's all I got to leave it at if you want to talk about weapons.
Daniel Jones last year, this is the stat you need to know. He played, and Saquon Barkley would make any quarterback much better. Mm-hmm. He played 3 games without Saquon Barkley, threw 3 touchdowns, 6 picks. He played 9 games with him. He threw 21 touchdowns, 6 picks. Yeah.
That's what the worst tackle duo in the league in Nate Solder and Mike Remmers.
He had a 97 QB rating with Saquon Barkley in the lineup, and Saquon Barkley was banged up for half those games. Now, I'm not going to tell you that Daniel Jones is going to have a great year this year. I'm not jumping the gun. But, yes, he certainly had a lot of weapons out last year, Saquon Barkley being one of them. He was hurt throughout the entire year. All of his receivers were down. Ingram was down. He didn't have a full team the entire year.
Mm-hmm. And you saw how much. Listen, it seemed like DJ. We always talk about he had a connection with Darius Slayton. He basically seemed to have a connection with all the stars. I think he looked like he had a good connection with Tate. At times, he looked like he had a good connection with Shepard. That's something I love to see. He's going to spread the ball out this year, I believe, if all of them are going to be healthy. A lot of people say Slayton's going to have a big year. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that, but I definitely think he's going to be spreading the ball out a lot more than we would expect him to.
I think whoever stays healthy is going to catch for over 1,000 yards because I think there'll probably be injuries. But, yes, I agree. If they're fully healthy, all the weapons stay healthy, Yeah, I don't see anybody catching for more than 800, 850 yards because I think they'll just spread the ball around, like you said. I'll tell you what, Ingram. If everybody stays healthy, I'd say Ingram probably has the best chance of cracking
I
the
mean, if
1,000.
Jason Witten can have the stats he had, then yeah, Ingram's probably going to be the #1 receiver if we're going to be honest.
Yeah, I could see Jason Witten had 4 1,000-yard seasons throughout his career. All 4 came under Jason Garrett when he was calling plays over a 6-year stretch of his career. So
Exactly.
I think they're going to feature the tight end. And some of that may have to do with Caden Smith as well. I think you'll see a lot of 2 tight end sets. But if Ingram stays healthy, Ingram's going to have a big year. But I think they'll spread the ball around. I'm interested to see how they use Barkley in the passing game. I was a little underwhelmed at the usage last year with Saquon Barkley.
Well, here's the thing. I kind of want Barkley to not be used that much in the passing game. What do you think? Because I think they're going to use him a lot in the running game.
Well, I just want him to get used. Period. End of story. And I want to get him out in space. So if it takes you throwing swing passes, screen passes, whatever, I want him to get his touches. I want him to get used because he's our weapon. He's the guy that's going to set the table for everybody else. But yeah, if it means he's going to have 320 carries and only 45, 50 catches, I'm fine with that. But he's got to get his touches.
Exactly. And back to the NFL 100 because we kind of went off on a little tangent with Kyler Murray. The next thing you got to address is, of course, the #1 player on the NFL 100. Your thoughts?
Listen, he won the MVP award. I get it. If you're just basing it off of last year, I can't debate it. The guy won the MVP, had an unbelievable statistical year. But if you're asking me who's the best player in the NFL, it's Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes obviously has Andy Reid. That certainly helps. And Russell Wilson second for me. I'd have Jackson third at the quarterback position. He's earned that. He won the MVP last year. He was great. But, yeah, I'd have Mahomes at 1.
Yeah, my list would have probably went Mahomes, Donald, and then Lamar Jackson. But that whole thing with saying if it's based off the last year and he won the MVP, then it's all right for him to be #1. Last year's list, obviously, Patrick Mahomes won the MVP, and he was still #4. So I don't know what. Listen, the NFL players, because they're like, oh, it's legitimate because the NFL players vote on it. They don't even know what they're voting for, bro. NFL players don't know what they're doing. It's still a popularity contest. Let me get my camera back in focus. All right, yeah. NFL players don't know what they're voting for, bro. Because if by that logic, Mahomes should have been #1 last year.
I agree. I don't even bother making videos on that. I saw a lot of people make videos on the top 100. I'm like, what's the point? This list is irrelevant. When I saw the list, I almost made a video on Kyler Murray. I was thinking about, I didn't want to ruffle feathers though, because I know that people love this guy, and I'm not even trying to bash Kyler Murray. I think he could be a good quarterback, but the media bias for Kyler Murray is insane.
Bro, I'm telling you, it 100% also have to do with the fact that the media bias against Daniel Jones, because they want one of those first-round quarterbacks to be the next guy. It might be a conspiracy theory, but I think that's part of it as well.
Maybe. I don't know, but it's I've never seen a quarterback be anointed an elite quarterback the way that he's being anointed before they actually earn it. And he hopefully earns it this year. I'm not rooting against the guy, but he hasn't earned anything yet.
Exactly. This is one right here that I was actually planning to ask you, and it slipped out of my mind. Do you guys plan on doing a fantasy football this year as a YouTube community? Because my draft is literally on Sunday. What do you think about that? Like a fantasy football league with the Giants YouTubers, or maybe some other YouTubers in there as well. Oh, your mic is off, Tana.
Doing that by accident. Keep doing that by accident. Sorry. I was talking to a couple of guys. I want to do that on my channel as well. I want to have one with my subscribers. I'm gonna have too many. I'm gonna have to keep track, but I'm gonna have one with my members. But yeah, I would love to do a Giants YouTubers fantasy league and stream it on one of the channels. Yeah, I'd definitely be down for that.
Which app do you usually use? Are you gonna use Yahoo, ESPN, or the NFL one?
Probably ESPN. That's usually what I go with. I use Yahoo usually for baseball and ESPN for football.
Oh, really? You play fantasy baseball? How does that go? How does that even work?
Fantasy baseball is brutal. I don't play it as much as I used to because I don't have the time, but I used to play fantasy baseball. You really have to do your homework because every game you have to alter your lineup based on
also in a regular season. Every game is like every day.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll have a hitter, for instance, say he's a great lefty hitter who's great against right-handed pitching, but he sucks against lefties. You got to make sure you look at your lineup that day and be like, oh, he only hits 220 against left-handed pitchers. I'm not playing him today. I'm going to play this guy. So there's a lot more work that goes into fantasy baseball as opposed to football.
Exactly. Nick the Wick says, Tana, can I be in your fantasy league? How are you deciding for, I guess, regular subs to be in your league?
Nick the Wick's actually a member. So, yeah, I'm having a member. I'm member stream Sunday, Nick, and I'm going to talk about it then. So, yeah, if you're in the member stream, we're gonna have a members only YouTube fantasy league. So yeah, I'm also gonna have a pick'em league, so all my subscribers could partake in it. The only thing I worry about that is people cheated last year and they had multiple entries. So I don't know
Oh, how
how
does that even work? Because can't you be in it only once or something like that in a pick'em league?
they create, like, I don't know. I gotta figure it out, so they can't do that. But they created like multiple names, and they put in like 5 entries, and so that's what I worry about with that. But yeah, no, I definitely want to do the members only fantasy league, Nick.
For sure, and maybe like sometime after the stream, maybe not necessarily tonight because I'm probably gonna head out to bed when this is over. But we're definitely gonna talk about probably getting that Giants YouTuber fantasy league down as well. That sounds like a lot of fun. Um, this is one here is from Bobbitt. He says, "Do you think Breeze can get another Super Bowl?" Listen, I'm be honest with you, I don't think so. I think Drew Brees' window was closed last year. I think it was honestly a 3-year window from 2017 to 2019. I don't know, man. He even had that injury last year. I just feel like the Saints as a team, like to face those losses 3 years in a row, that takes a toll on you. And also Breeze, I'm not saying he's gonna fall off, but eventually it's gonna happen. I just feel like it's not gonna happen anymore.
I'm not gonna pick them, but I'm not gonna say it can't happen. I still think the Saints have arguably the best team in football in terms of a 53-man roster. They've got the best offensive line in the league, or if not the best, top 2, top 3. They've done a great job building that up, and I think at this point Drew Brees could be a game manager. That's basically what he's been the last couple of years. I'm not saying that he can't. He's still not a great. He's been a great quarterback, but they haven't asked him to do nearly as much as he used to do. The guy hasn't thrown for 4,000 yards the last couple of years. They've run the ball more. They've relied more on that defense. You look at last year; he went down. Teddy Bridgewater, who to me is a run-of-the-mill quarterback. I know he got paid, but
he got overpaid. I don't know why in the world.
Yeah.
Panthers time.
Well, I'll tell you why he got overpaid. He stepped in and played for the Saints, who have the best support system in the league. He went.
Yeah, but if we as normal fans could see the Saints best support system in the league, why can't a professional organization see the Saints the best supporting system in the league?
No, well, that's for you to answer. But teams do it all the time. Nick Foles got paid too, but and Ryan Tannehill got paid. Do you really believe in Ryan Tannehill? But as far as because of that exact reason, you saw Bridgewater step in and win 5 games last year. He went 5-0. I think Drew Brees could do that. I think he could still win games with the Saints. I think they got a really good team. I'm probably not going to pick them, but I still think they're one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the NFC. So I wouldn't rule them out.
Yeah, I guess I could agree with that. Not necessarily gonna pick them, but not necessarily gonna rule them out. Now, Tana, Wolves has actually tabbed this a few times, man. Is this one of your member perks, bro? What is this? Is this one of your member perks? What's up with this, man?
Wolves isn't a member of mine, but even if he was, I don't give out feed picks.
He's probably, guys. Listen, you probably wouldn't afford it, my guy. That's top notch stuff. On the interwebs, that's top-notch stuff, man. People be making thousands off of that.
Feet pics don't go away. You see Dylan's profile picture? If I ever showed my feet, you'd see 100 people with my feet pictures and profile pictures. So
how in the world would people tell you? I don't even want to know how they would tell it's yours. They got ways, man. They got ways.
They got ways. They Photoshop my face next to my foot.
They Photoshop your face into the foot.
Foot.
So it looks like the NFL gloves. They hold them up and it forms the logo. That's what they'll do.
Yeah, Footana. I'll never hear the end of it.
Oh my! You just gave them an idea, bro. Footana. They don't even need yours anymore. They're just gonna Google somebody's random one. Put your face on it. You just doomed yourself, bro. Bobbitt. I don't know. I guess Bobbitt out here wanted to I don't know, maybe antagonize you, but he said, "Christopher, quit smirking. I know calling you a midget made you laugh." When did he call you a midget?
I honestly didn't see you call me a midget. But yeah, Bavith is Bavith. I always say Bavith, but he tells me just to go with it. Mm-hmm. He's been with me forever, so I've called him. I've called him by the wrong name forever, and he still watches me, so he's always gonna watch me.
He's chill with it, man. He's cool with it.
Yeah, he's cool with me mispronouncing his name for all these years, but listen, Bavith, I've proven it. I was on live with Bad Dog. Bad Dog claims to be 6 feet tall. I was just as tall as he was. I've proven it. There's visual evidence. I'm not a midget. I promise you.
Okay.
I'm a legit 5'10" and a half, 5'11". Okay, Bavith?
I legitimately don't know what my height is because according to my doctor, I'm like 6'1", but I have a friend that's like 6'2", and I'm taller than him, so I don't know what my height is, bro. It's all over the place. Shout out to Benjamin Wynn in the chat, man. Thank you for the $5 donation. He says, shout out to the hub. Thank you, my guy. Seems like a cool dude. Tana, start rooting for the Lakers. It will turn the Mets into serious title contenders for Kobe and Gigi. I don't know the logic between that, man. Has he been on you for rooting to the Lakers for a while now?
No, Benjamin's a great subscriber of mine. He always tunes in my streams and donates. It shows a lot of love. Benjamin, here's what I'm going to say. I know you're a big Laker guy, and you guys have asked me to do the Laker games. I know that's Bad Dog's thing. Come playoff time, probably not the first round, probably not the second round. Western Conference Finals and on, I'll be calling those Laker games when I can. I'm not obviously ever going to call them over the Giants or a Giant show or something like that, but I'll be calling the Lakers games, and when I call them, I'll be rooting for them for you. So there you go. I'll be cheering on for your Lakers in the playoffs. I got no dog in the fight. I'm a Knicks fan. I could care less about.
Same, bro. I'm a Knicks fan. I will say that I'm a Knicks fan, but I'm a huge LeBron fan, so I would definitely be happy for him to go there. Yep.
I am. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of people may not like hearing this. Benjamin's not going to like hearing this. He's a Kobe guy. I think LeBron James is the most underappreciated athlete.
He's the most criticized for everything he does on and off the court.
Well, I'm not saying some of it he brought on himself. Okay, I'm gonna say that, like, he forced the trade and the whole decision and all that, and he left the team in his prime. So I get why people don't like LeBron James, but at the end of the day, there's only one. There's only one Michael Jordan, but there's only one LeBron James too. Guys like him don't grow on trees. You're not going to see another LeBron James for a long time. To me, he's the second greatest player who ever played.
I was just about to ask that next because, listen, I don't know if it's recency bias, but since Kobe retired, I've never seen Kobe Bryant in the GOAT conversation until he retired. And that's something that happens whenever a player goes away or they retire. All of a sudden, their stock rises or something like that. And then obviously, since the unfortunate and untimely death of Kobe Bryant, he's even been more and more put into the MVP. I mean, not MVP, the GOAT conversation.
Here's what I'm going to tell you about.
There's ever been two guys I've like legitimately considered for that, and that's MJ and Bron.
Kobe Bryant's a great player, top 10 player of all time. Great player, great mentality. He's not close to LeBron James. He's just not. He was a phenomenal basketball player, and it was a tragedy that the guy passed away. Here's why I think Kobe Bryant has gained more popularity. I'm not even talking about the death. He gained a lot of popularity after he retired. I'm going to tell you why. The players nowadays, LeBron James, all the guys, everybody, Kevin Durant, they all try to take the easy way out. They all want to team up and get that easy ring. They all want to pair up with the Warriors. He wants to pair up with Bosh, with Wade. They all wanted that easy championship. Kobe Bryant was the opposite. Kobe Bryant said, Shaq, get the hell out of here. I want my championship. I want my credit. I don't get along with Shaq. I want to be the guy. And I think after he retired.
And he took that from MJ. Going back to being a great player, it sounds kind of contradictory to what I just said. I said I think the second, the two players to ever be considered for the GOAT conversation should be MJ and Bron. But the closest thing the NBA has ever seen to MJ since he retired is Kobe, if that makes any sense.
I agree with that. I agree with that. He's the closest thing to MJ in terms of his the Mamba mentality, and he wanted the ball at the end of the games for the last shot.
The way he plays.
Yeah, he was very similar. I agree. Listen, Kobe Bryant's a great, all-time great. But I'm not putting him above LeBron James. But he's an all-time great. But I think he grew in more popularity because of today's modern-day athlete, where everybody tries to pair up and get easy championships, and he kind of, like I said, had that Mamba mentality.
Exactly. Mr. Hang Glider, man, I told you, bro, you started something that you're gonna regret, man. The Entertainah talking feet, bro. You're gonna get this in your next stream, bro. I don't know. This is gonna pull up.
Mr. Hang Glider, man, is another. He's built my channel. I remember. I tell him this every time I see him. I had like 60 subscribers. He commented on my video. He said, "You're gonna blow up," and he's been with my channel ever since. So I always like to shout out,
bro. You got the crystal ball with you, bro.
I always want to shout out my OGs. So he's one of them.
For sure. MH with actually a pretty good question. He says thoughts on Frank. I still can't pronounce his name.
Ntilikina.
Yeah, Frank Ntilikina. I've been up and down with Frank as a Knicks fan. Coming in, obviously, I had high hopes of him as a rookie. He didn't perform like I wanted him to. Now I think, it's kind of been up and down with me. I think he could be a good player. I don't know. What's your thoughts on Frank, man?
Yeah, Frank Ntilikina is frustrating because here's what I'm going to say about Ntilikina. Ntilikina definitely got better this year. He shot almost 40%, and that's a big step up for him. He was shooting like 34% the year before. He definitely got better on the offensive side. He's never going to be a great offensive player. He's out there for his defense. He's out there for the ball movement. He's never going to be a great distributor, but I think the ball moves well when he's in the game, and he's a really good defender. He's got long arms. He's got potential. I think with Thibodeau coming in, I think he benefits more so than any other player in the roster. I think Ntilikina is going to really benefit because Thibodeau's a defensive guy. I think he's going to mold Ntilikina. I think Ntilikina is going to get more minutes. I think he's the type of player that Thibodeau is going to like. And I think Ntilikina and Mitch Robinson. I think those two players, and Dotson.
I love Mitch Robinson, bro.
Yeah, I think those two players benefit from Thibodeau the most.
And speaking of which, since you brought up the defensive, side of Thibodeau and whatnot. And by the way, real quick, shout out to Sajid for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. He says LeBron is at his best when he doesn't go against Kawhi. Well, I would disagree. Last night he clamped up Kawhi towards the end of that game. He clamped up both Kawhi and PG. But hey, man, maybe maybe we could get into that a little bit more.
Kawhi's great too.
Kawhi is great, but I feel like a lot of people are now out of nowhere putting him in the top 10 conversation of all time. Like, when did being excited for a player automatically become let's shoot him to as far as we can shoot him up to?
If he wins this year, I think he starts to enter that conversation, but he's got to win this year. And if you look at Kawhi's stats, they're not close. If you're a stat guy, I think he averaged like 17 or 18 points a game for his career. I mean, he's a great player.
Well, that's because, like half of his career, he was all defense.
Yeah. He's probably the best two-way player in the sport right now.
No, I agree with that. Even I think since maybe 2016, 2017, he's been the best two-way player in the sport. Like, look at 2017. Oh, my God. I always say this. 2017, when Durant went to the Warriors, playoffs, Warriors versus Spurs, Kawhi almost single-handedly, if he did not go down with that injury, Kawhi would have single-handedly eliminated the big Golden State Warriors from that series, bro.
Yeah,
that's how good he was. And I always, because I hated the Warriors at that point, man, every time I think about that, it gets me feeling some type of way because he was great in that series.
Oh, Kawhi's phenomenal. And the fact that he did it as the guy, I mean, there was no on that Raptors team last year. There was no superstars outside of him. I mean, I know players played well, but there was no superstars on those teams.
Exactly, and he brought Toronto their first championship. I was gonna ask you, since you kind of got into it a little bit, your general opinion on the Tom Thibodeau signing for the Knicks, man. What do you think about it?
Listen, New York fans are so negative, and I understand it as Knicks fans, and I'm not even saying that I love the hire. I'm just saying let's see what happens.
Let's see it play out.
Yeah, and so many people comment, "Oh, Thibodeau sucks. This hire is horrible. It's not going to work out." They're acting like this guy's never accomplished anything. Tom Thibodeau had the best record in the NBA. His first year with the Chicago Bulls, they won 62 games. And I think they never won less than 45 games while he was there. He got the Timberwolves to the playoffs for the first time in 13 years, his second year there with the T-Wolves. It's not like this guy hasn't had success in the league. Yeah, he's got his faults, but so does everybody. You got to give the guy a chance. I don't understand why Knicks. I understand because the Knicks are the Knicks. Mm-hmm. But the main problem here is not the coach. It's never been the coach. We've brought in some of the greatest coaches who ever coached in the NBA. Larry Brown. Larry Brown's one of the greatest coaches ever. He couldn't do anything here. It's James Dolan. James Dolan's a horrible owner. He's ruined this team for years.
Exactly, man. James Dolan, and he's gotten opportunities to sell the team too. He just doesn't want to sell the team because he's making money. No matter how bad the Knicks are, they're always going to be a great cash cow.
Yeah.
And sure. Shout out to Nikki. She says, "Tana, you were supposed to bring out the rally moss for the Mets game. Hold up now. What happened? Did you not do something you promised, man?"
I didn't promise that, but there you go, Nikki. There you go. I got hat hair right now. It looks ridiculous because I haven't gotten a haircut, but there you go. There's the rally moss for you.
The rally moss, bro. Can never get better than that. All right, what do you think about this argument? Because I think Sajid might be a little bit of a Kawhi fan. He says Kawhi almost beat a super team. LeBron got owned by that same super team. I think it's kind of different. There's a lot of coaching that goes into it. Greg Popovich is a great coach. As a team, the Spurs were great defensively. But what do you think about that argument when people try to argue Kawhi and LeBron?
Kawhi's not LeBron. Kawhi's not LeBron. And Kawhi's great. Kawhi's great. Kawhi's not LeBron. Come on. You watch the two players play. Kawhi's fantastic. He's an all-time great player. He's not LeBron. He's not LeBron. Let's be real. LeBron could play any position on the floor. He could do whatever you want. Like LeBron is 6'9" or 6'8.5", whatever he is. He's
like 250.
He's 250. He leads the NBA in assists. The guy could do whatever he wants. He's a freaking ager. There's no other LeBron.
And I would just agree with what you said earlier. There's not going to be somebody like him for a long, long time, if ever. He's an absolute freak.
The guy's built like Shaq in his prime, and he's a point guard. He's ridiculous. Guys like that don't grow on trees. People should appreciate him more.
Shout out to Bad Dog Sports in the chat, guys. I'm sure you guys all know Bad Dog. I might not even have to say go over there and check him out. Mets stink.
You're not going to get an argument from me tonight, Bad Dog. The Mets stink. We blew a 6-run lead. The Mets are a joke tonight. And all I'll do, like I've always done my whole life, is put the Met hat back on and root for them just as hard as I always have, and hope they win tomorrow. That's all I could do. But yeah, it's tough being a Mets fan. I'll never tell you otherwise.
And Zuhabib, I might be pronouncing that wrong. When are you linking up with him next? Because you guys
next week. Yeah, we just took a couple of weeks off because the NBA is getting into effect, and baseball, and there's not a lot to talk about right now. We're waiting until training camp gets into the fold, and have a show where we could talk for an hour and a half about the Giants.
Basically, have content to actually speak upon.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing the shows when there was nothing to talk about because there was nothing else to do. There were no Yankee games, there were no Met games, there was no NBA, so we went live to try to.
You know what? Speaking of which, Chris, how good does it feel? Because it didn't hit me until last night. I was watching the Lakers game and I realized, wait a minute, basketball is on and baseball is on another channel. How does it feel to legitimately have sports back as a sports fan?
I can't wait. I love it. I love being able to watch my Mets every night, and I can't wait to stream some NBA games. Everybody's asking me to do those too, and I'm gonna wait. We'll wait it out. If the Mets fall apart and they drop to like 3-15, I'll start doing the NBA games. But right now, I'm a diehard Met fan. I'm gonna watch the Mets every night, so I'm gonna stream the Mets when I'm watching them if I'm gonna stream. But I'm looking for right now. I can't get into the regular season basketball because the games mean nothing. The playoffs are set. The teams that are going: the Clippers, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Bucks. I can't get into it right now. It's 8 games of meaningless basketball for me right now as a fan.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I definitely agree with you there. The minute that I heard they were doing only 8 games, I was like, oh, it's already set, bro. Seasons are basically already set.
Yeah, so for me as a fan of basketball, being that I'm a Knicks fan, I got no dog in the fight right now. I don't even want to bother calling a game or watching a game right now because I don't care. I don't care about anybody that's in it right now. But once the playoffs come, yeah, playoff basketball is as good as anything. The 4-7 series, the battles. I'm looking forward to that. Really, the second round is where it starts to heat up. The first round's kind of whatever. Mm-hmm. You got the 1 versus the 8, and nobody's beating the Lakers in the first round. Nobody's beating the Clippers. But one interesting dynamic about the NBA playoffs this year that I like, there's no home court advantage. So
you can say that for any sport, can't you?
Well, yeah, but they don't even have to travel, right? Where in a 4-7, if the Lakers, were playing, name a team, whatever, the Mavericks in the first round, the Mavericks would have to travel to LA. They don't got to do that now. Everything's neutral floor. Nobody's traveling. I think you're going to see more upsets than in the past in the NBA. I could see maybe the Clippers or Lakers will get by in the first round, but I could see some teams get knocked off that you don't expect because of that.
What do you think about the Heat? I've been hearing a lot of hype surrounding the Miami Heat possibly coming up and even upsetting somebody like the 76ers or the Bucks.
I think Erik Spoelstra is one of the most underrated coaches, not just in basketball, but in professional sports. Erik Spoelstra is a fantastic coach. What he's been able to do, not just this year, the last couple of years with the Miami Heat, he gets the most out of that team. That was a team that people thought were going to have like the number 1 pick, top 3 pick last year. He got them to finish, 500? I think Erik Spoelstra is a great coach. And Miami Heat, yeah, maybe they do some damage in the playoffs. The East is interesting.
The East, listen, man, since starting basically last year, the East is finally getting back to actually being interesting in the playoffs. Because for a good, 9-year stretch, East didn't really been none to look at in the playoffs. Shout out to Sabrina in the chat. She said, I had a conflict. Red Sox and Celtics, chose Red Sox. Met also on overwhelming. Oh, she's talking about who was on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Now that you have actual options to choose about which sports to go watch.
What was I'm sorry, what was the question? Red Sox or what?
No, she was just talking about how she had a conflict. Both baseball and basketball was on. She had to choose between watching the Celtics and watching the Red Sox. And then she was also like, oh, the Mets were also on. It was overwhelming to multitask.
Yeah, I mean, if it was me, I would watch the Red Sox. Just because, like I said, the seeding doesn't even really matter that much in the NBA this year because, like I said, there's no traveling, there's no home court advantage. So if it was me, everybody's different. But I would watch my baseball team. But it all depends on who you're more passionate about. If you're more passionate about the Celtics, watch the Celtics. If you're more passionate about the Red Sox, watch the Red Sox. But especially being that it's kind of like a pennant race this year with baseball, it's why I can't really get into anything but baseball right now because there's almost like playoffs with baseball right now. The way how all these games mean so much more than they normally do. So, but once the playoffs heat up in basketball, it's going to get interesting.
Exactly. Now, this is one thing MH has been asking. MH looking like he's a little bit of a comedian here. He says, favorite hub, the hub or the other one? Listen, for me, it is the hub as in myself.
I'm not going to answer that question. I plead the fifth.
Well, I mean, listen, either way, yeah, the hub is great, man. You know what I'm saying? The hub is great. On the other hand, the hub also has its positives and negatives. You know what I mean? And then there's the hub, but who knows? There's a lot of hubs.
There's a lot of hubs.
I forgot the next question I was going to ask, but we're going to wrap it up in probably around 2 or 3 minutes or so. I've been going live for quite a while now, getting a little bit tired, but any last questions that you guys might have, throw them in the chat there as well. We got Jayden Dawkins still egging on Entertainah about the Mets. We got Bad Dog still in the chat observing and whatnot. Yo, all right, listen. this is the question. It finally came back to me. Give me your predictions for the Eastern Conference Finals. Because we already said, Western Conference Finals, we both kind of admit it's most likely going to be Clippers Lakers. East, we just hinted upon there might be a little bit of parity and upsets. Maybe the Heats go all the way. What are you looking at?
Let me look at the before I give an answer to that, because I don't follow the NBA as closely as I should because we haven't had NBA in 3 months. And my Knicks,
pull up the I guess
my
the seeding.
Knicks are not in the fight, so I want to see who's going up against who or who's projected to go up against who in each round. But I mean, the East is open, like you said, and it's going to be interesting with all the layoff. I mean, most people are going to say the Bucks because the Bucks have been dominant, but the thing you got to worry about with the Bucks is Antetokounmpo. A lot of people think is going to struggle in the playoffs because the guy doesn't have a jump shot. So, I don't know. I'm leaning Bucks. That's chalk, I know, but a lot of people say that the Sixers could be a sleeper. You got the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pick the Celtics. I can't pick Boston.
Yeah, you got to stay away from Boston to Massachusetts, man. Come on now. Except for Nikki. Shout out to Nikki. She always says Massachusetts loves the hub. So maybe I should give them a bit more respect.
I mean, all right. So you got the Pacers and the Heat in the 4 or 5. The Sixers are the 6 right now, but that could change. Everybody's tied. Really, any one of the top 6 can make it. Even the Raptors, obviously, I'm not counting them out. So the East is wide open. It really is. I will go with Milwaukee. I will go chalk because they're so over. They're far and away the best team in the regular season. I will stick with Milwaukee. I think Toronto without Kawhi Leonard can't get it done. I think the biggest threat to Milwaukee is probably Boston. But I'll go chalk there. I'll go Bucks, and I'm leaning Lakers. But I do think the Clippers are the best team. But the Lakers,
I agree with that. The Clippers are a better team right now. But when you got like 2 of the top 5 players in the world, that helps you overcome a lot of stuff. For the Lakers.
I think I'll go Lakers Bucks, but I do give the Clippers a near 50-50 chance to knock off the Lakers.
Exactly. And guys, unless you got any other questions, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Dylan Renner, I do see your big question. Maybe I guess I'll answer that real quick. He's basically saying, do you guys think LeBron is the GOAT? In my eyes, he's better than Jordan. Potter, what do you mean by that? Competition, better stats, not just the rings, but how are we really going to base it on rings? Like how Tana says Peyton over Tom. Your response to that?
First thing I'm going to say is it's hard to compare the two players because the eras are completely different. Like Bad Dog always says, 80s, 90s basketball used to be able to knock people on their ass. You can't do that nowadays. They're completely different eras. Now teams jack up 33s a night. It's completely
different. I was watching the for anybody that wants to know what Tana's talking about, just look at The Last Dance. When they were going up against the bad boy Pistons, the Bulls, they were literally having fist fights without any type of like flagrant fouls being called.
Yeah, but here's what I'll say to the Jordan-LeBron debate. And they're both great. And I could understand the argument for LeBron just because of how unique of a player he is and how great he is. But Jordan dominated his era in a way that LeBron didn't. There was not a debate. It was Jordan, and it was everybody else was this far. Like Jordan was here, and everybody else was there. And Jordan dominated his era more so than any other athlete outside of Wayne Gretzky that I've ever seen. So I don't think there's much of a debate. Not to mention, you look at the Dallas Mavericks series. And I just said I'm a huge LeBron guy. I think he's the second greatest player who ever lived. Look at the Dallas Mavericks series. His first year there with the Miami Heat. You've got Chris Bosh. You've got Dwayne Wade. You've got LeBron James. You have far and away the better team. Dirk Nowitzki's second best player was what? Tyson Chandler, Jason Terry, Jason Kidd when he was a grandpa. They had a much better team. Michael Jordan doesn't lose that series. Michael Jordan wins that series with ease. So I just I got to go Jordan. As much as I love LeBron, I got to go Jordan.
And I agree with you. I used to be, well, I still am a big LeBron fan, but I used to like say it seriously that LeBron is the greatest player of all time. I must say that Last Dance documentary kind of put a few things in perspective for me. Jordan first retired, both times he retired, both in 93 and 97, just because he was tired of the game. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the 93 retirement had a lot to do with his dad's, untimely death and whatnot. But even before that, he was deciding to retire a year before because he was like mentally and physically exhausted at the game. He could come back and still win another championship. But he was just like, yeah, I've done everything I could both times. Because the first time, it was one of the only teams to ever three-peat. The second time, he was like, he came back because everybody was doubting him, and he three-peated again. It's like he could have gone longer.
He got bored. He was so good. He got bored. He was so much better than everybody else. He got bored. And then the other thing that goes against LeBron is what we said before. And it's not even so much his fault. It's the era he plays in. But the fact of the matter is LeBron left in the prime of his career, and I could understand leaving. Cleveland didn't support him, right? His second best player was what? Anderson, Varejao, Mo
That's
Williams.
why I will always support him leaving Cleveland. I will say that.
I
have
understand
no
leaving
problem with
Cleveland, but the fact of the matter is, he said, Chris Bosh, you're the next best available free agent. I'm going to call you. I'm going to get Dwayne Wade, who's already won a title, and we're all going to pair up together. The fact of the matter is, he was in the prime of his career, entering his best years. That's never been done in the history of the NBA. People could say, yes, people have teamed up.
The Celtics big three right before them.
But yeah, I was going to say that happened. But Kevin Garnett was like 33. Ray Allen, they weren't in the prime of their careers. You were talking about a player that was the best player in the sport, that was 26 at the time, 25, 26. He was in the prime of his career. I could understand Garnett and Ray Allen doing it. They were 32, 33 years old. They were on bad organizations. They were chasing a ring. LeBron paired up with another superstar. He brought another superstar along with him. Jordan would never do that. And like you said, though, the era he plays in, so it's hard to compare eras, but I can't put him above Jordan. I can't do it.
Yeah. I gotta say, man, I think for me it's a bit closer, but Jordan's still number one just because it's like you say, he literally left because he got bored. And you said it before, head and shoulders above the competition. In my opinion, LeBron's been the best player in the NBA for like the past 10, maybe 15 years. But I don't think there was ever a point where he was like head and shoulders, like above the comp as much as Jordan was.
Listen,
there was always somebody that you can compare him to currently in the league.
The NBA should have given Michael Jordan the MVP every year of his career. Or at least
the year they gave it to Charles Barkley.
They gave it to Karl Malone twice, I think.
Yeah.
They gave it to other people because they got bored and they were trying to, I guess, create competition, whatever it was.
And you could even say the same argument for the past couple of years with LeBron.
LeBron should be the MVP every year. LeBron's the best player in the league. It's not close. LeBron means more to his team than any other player in the NBA. It's not close. LeBron James could go to the Knicks and they'd win 55 games.
I would legitimately say they win 60 games because I think the Knicks were better than the Cavs, and the Cavs, they got close to 60 games, the 2018 Cavs.
That's how good of a player LeBron James is. He goes to a team and he has 30 wins. And exactly. He's on another level. He's a freak, but to me, he's not Michael Jordan.
Exactly. And that's going to be it for tonight, guys. We, thank you once again for coming off of that. Well, he said he's used to it, but I still look at it as a heartbreaking Mets loss, man. I can't believe it. I left his
Well, you never get used to it, but I'm used to it, but I'm not used to it.
Man, but I left your stream and it was 10-6. I was like, all right, we're going to come on. He's going to be ecstatic. All of a sudden, somebody says in my chat, yo, the Mets just blew the lead, bro. It's 10-11. I was like, what? Like, literally just a couple minutes. I'm like, okay, man. But
well, I appreciate you having me on because talking sports gets to get my mind off of it a little bit. But
exactly, man. And guys, by the way, I'm not sure if it's official yet, but as of right now, what I know, it's gonna be the square table Saturday night on Kid Blue's channel. Me, Tana, Kid Blue, and OGR. Is that confirmed? I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't check my Twitter. I don't know if Kid Blue got back to me, but I'm in. So just let me know.
Yeah. So 100%. It's I'm just gonna say it's 100%.
What night is it again?
Sunday night.
Sunday night, okay.
Yeah, so the square table, guys, tune in then. Thank you all for tuning in now. Shout out to everybody that donated, to everybody that chatted. You guys were great tonight, came in with a lot of great questions. And thank you to my two first members. We got Diehard Giants fan and Nikki. Once again, thank you guys, and we're out.
I'm still live. He X'd out. I'm still alive. I can't end the stream, guys.
I didn't actually end the stream, yo.
I was going to talk to the chat for a little bit.
Yeah, huh?
I was going to talk to the chat a little bit while you went away. But
yeah.
But close it out. Close it out.
Yeah.